Due to the ignorance of our host, parental discretion is advised.
I brought some brew, bro. I know that you're a Coors Light guy, but I was like, I'm gonna support local.
We're rolling, fellas.
So there's an 801 in there if you want an 801.
I got 2 out. You want one?
He don't do the mango cart.
Yeah, he's like,
I fucking bought those.
Oh yeah.
Did you?
I like those.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, they're good.
Oh. I wasn't sure if
only
you were
drink-
or not.
You can only drink so many of them though, because they're a little on the sour sweet side.
Is this the very same one from the bar?
Yeah, it's mango cart. So when I was
Are we going?
Yeah.
when I was introduced to
But let me double check. What? Yeah.
the Golden Road mango cart, it was at the bar, right? And at first I was really into the blueberry by I think it was Wasatch.
Yeah.
They make really good seasonal beer anyway. And you know, I think about, like, we often say support local, right? Support your local podcast, support your local musicians and all this stuff. And I'm like, I need to support local beer, support our local breweries, support our local fighters, you know what I mean?
That's right.
So when I go, I try to buy some type of local something. Even though Squatters just sold to Monster.
See him, dude?
Nice sneakers.
You gonna do a shoey? What are you doing?
You do a shoey? You down? It's brand new.
It is brand new.
The socks are so white too, so.
I just ordered a pair of Community Gardens.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. They're finally back in stock. So
This is gonna be the Sneakerheads podcast, dude.
You guys got to hang up some sneakers somewhere.
Because you know everybody's got their title. The number one comedy, the number one sport, the number one Chief Rocka. It's like might as well be the
best, the podcast with the best sneakers.
best kicks.
So you guys can do like Schaub and give out some sneakers?
We thought about
We
it.
thought about it. Like, you know how you can go get them, like you can make
Yeah.
a pair of dunks or
80
whatever.
bucks,
And I thought about
$100.
buying that and then having somebody embroider the logo on them.
It'd be dope. Or get like
But then we would give them away and be like, well, I fucking want those.
I know.
So it was like,
or get some for yourself. Or do like a drawing or like a raffle, right?
Well, we wanted to do something like we come up with like the guest of the year, and I have the people vote and shit. And obviously, once is
then we would know their size.
Then we
Because
would
if
know
you
their
do a
size and
raffle,
shit.
it's like, well, you got one size to give away, right?
Yeah.
And so,
then you end up like George.
yeah, right.
Buying
A 7 in men's. You wear a 13.
and he's 13.
When I heard that episode when he was talking about buying and selling, I was like, oh man, these are the wrong guys to tell right now. Because I knew instantly. Because at the time, you guys weren't really into sneakers at the time, and then you slowly got into it, and I was like, oh, okay, like these guys are gonna start buying them. But I think when you do the idea that you guys have for like the Beehive Awards or whatever, how would you do it? Just most votes?
We'd just figure it out. We would pick, like, I don't know, maybe our top 10 guests of the year, and then have the fans vote.
So it wouldn't be like the Grammys where certain voters, like certain people will have.
Dre owns the city though, so he'll win every time.
Yeah.
Psych. I've only been on here like once this year. Maybe twice. Once?
I think twice.
Twice, I think.
Yeah, one was horrible. The one where you had me on with Lonzo. We won't talk about that episode.
No, that was last year.
Episode was trash.
That is what was trash. Probably the worst episode I've ever done.
Facts. Hey, nice hat. I like that.
Thanks, dude.
I had mine on, and I took it off and went and combed my hair and thought I would be willing to bet because you didn't wear it last week. We bought the same hat.
Oh, you got the same one?
I got the same one.
Hey, that picture that you posted for my birthday when I'm holding this hat and you had the wife take a picture of us, she only took a picture of me?
No, I just cropped you.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
That would've been kinda weird.
technology, my friend.
No, I know.
Yeah, the wife's just, I'm over here, the wife's all,
Well, it's because he
It
worked out
slowly
good.
pans down to your dick. It's like, whoa, buddy.
That's your doing, though, not hers.
ding! Hey, B, put a fucking ding for an X mark right here. There's one strike.
Strike one. What was it? The Mariah episode where she kept looking at your junk?
I guess that's what she said. Well, he mentioned it, and then we were outside talking right before we took off, and she's like, yeah, I didn't want to say anything. But
She mentioned it on the show.
These were the pants, by the way.
It was on the episode.
Is it?
Yeah.
Hey.
I think I drew attention to the fucking, you
Yeah.
know, what's the term? The elephant in the room.
Yeah.
The elephant trunk.
The elephant trunk.
and then Hellbike's like, yo, let me see that. I was like, come on, Sarge, relax.
Yo, just pull it out, bro.
Speaking of Sarge, I want to wish him the best of luck.
That's right.
On his travels, he is going down a new endeavor. Mm-hmm. He bought him
I was looking for that word.
Yeah, he bought him a semi.
Yeah,
and he's got it all lettered up. I can't remember what it's called.
Is he not doing the curbing no more?
The what?
He sold it.
Oh.
We'll get into that later.
Okay.
But safe travels, my brother. Says he's going to be gone for about a month. Him and Oakley going to go see the world. Well, at least from here to Reno. So. See
the world and all the lot lizards out there.
So is he no longer a Utah resident? Is he just hitting the road?
He'll be a resident. He has a place here. He rents a place from one of his buddies, but he's he says he wants to go out of the gate, screaming eagle and spend some time on the road, get everything paid for really quick. And I mean, he talked to me about the money. I was like, holy shit. And I can imagine right now because truck drivers, I mean, they're high demand right now. There's not enough of them to keep up. So.
They're not protesting no more?
I don't
Remember the Canadians ones? They shut it down?
Yeah.
I think
it was like they were there and then it just like faded out, right?
Like everything,
we never heard anything about it, right?
Like every fucking thing.
I think they probably they started letting 2 at a time, then 3, then like 4, then 1 to down to 1, and then it's like, all right.
But it's like, imagine having a baby right now. Do you use baby formula?
Yeah, bro.
Dude.
My baby. So it's tough, man, because all of my babies, they didn't take at all.
Really?
So we had to. That was the only option that we had.
Right.
So
what does that mean? They didn't take booby milk?
They wouldn't latch. So Dad would, but they wouldn't.
That's what I was going to say.
So
we were having this fucking precious moment right now. In the back of my mouth, I'll bet you did.
Oh yeah.
I was thinking about how do I ward that out, and then he goes, Dad would. But
that shit never changes. I don't know why men we love to suck boobs.
Yeah,
it just never changes. I don't know one man that's like, I never sucked my wife's titty. It's
well,
like,
what about
you in the shower? He's kind of like,
but what about?
Just poke your head in the shower curtain. Yo, titty out. You do shit that make your wife's titty pop out. You hug her a little tighter.
Wasn't it? Speaking of sucking, wasn't it? DJ Khaled said he don't eat pussy.
He's Muslim though, isn't he?
I don't know.
I heard Muslims and Jamaicans don't. Muslims and Jamaicans don't.
It's not pork down there though. It's not.
Could be. But it's awful, man. It's awful because you go and it's to the point now where like moms are trading.
I think that's Jews, right? Jews don't eat pork, right?
No, Muslims don't eat pork.
It's Muslims who don't eat pork.
Yeah.
What don't eat cows?
Jewish are kosher. It has to be kosher.
That's right.
It has to. Yeah. Kosher means you have to be prayed, right?
It has to be blessed. Yeah.
Blessed, yeah. But yeah, man, this shortage of formula, it's hitting everybody, bro. And thank goodness. I mean, I only have one kid that's solely on it. You know what I mean? I mean, even then, like she's not really. She's kind of on it, kind of not. Like she'll eat anything, but she also needs one to like go lay down and whatnot. But this shortage, they're saying that we can come out of it in the next couple months. That plant burning down and then the recall on top of it makes you think about like conspiracies. Like, what's the real? Is this to get people off of the war?
Yeah, what happens to? And I'm asking because I obviously really don't know anything about that. What happens with the? See, there's no baby taking the milk, and there's not much pressure inside of those tanks. So what do you do? Do you just
go switch right to formula?
Are you talking about to get the milk out?
Yeah.
Well, they got pumps.
Yeah, but what do you do with it? Do you sell it? Do you just toss it?
I just saw an ad on, not an ad, but an article on KSL. Some lady had like 40,000 ounces of breast milk she was selling.
Yeah, man.
To hook people up. And you can get breast milk from any mother.
Yep.
I mean, it's a hot commodity right now.
Facts, man. That shit's like gold.
There's no shortage for that.
And the crazy thing, a woman can continue lactating even after.
As long as you just keep pumping.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, man.
Damn,
so
dude.
them things,
thing's this gold mine right now.
Not to get morbid but you can literally get pregnant.
Leave it to the Beehive to talk about maternity.
Take the kid out and just keep pumping.
Well, it makes you really
Dairy Ranch
puts into perspective how worthless we really are.
Yeah,
when it
right. We
comes
just
to
put it in there and they go, all right.
When we're done,
Hopefully
right?
it takes.
It's just, well, I guess that's it. Yo, I watched that.
What if a baby had to suck your dick?
Okay, hey B, put number 2 up here. And
You know what? I celebrated because homeboy works on the radio. He cannot do shit like this. So I celebrated it. I want Dre back. Bring busting a nut on Gatorade bottles Dre back. Hashtag, dude. That's what I want.
What I mean, we don't lactate, right? But what if we had to? What if it was? I mean, not necessarily from the dick,
from
but
our breasts?
yeah,
Don't we do?
No,
we don't lactate.
I don't lactate.
There's nothing?
No,
Angel,
Wait.
we don't?
There's no purpose for them. There's no purpose for us to have
Yeah.
nipples. Why the fuck we have
I
nipples?
don't know. I just thought that. I think I'm mistaken the fact that a lady can lactate at one point in time, right? It doesn't really matter. Obviously,
No, they have to. They have to have a baby.
Yeah, they have to have
But
a
you
baby.
just said that he can lactate
Kickstart it.
After.
Yeah, it's like soon after. Like,
Yeah,
after.
they can. The glands will still
That's what I'm
produce.
saying. Maybe I
Women,
got that
correct me.
confused.
Maybe
Yeah, yeah.
Mariah, correct me. But
Yeah,
I
yeah.
believe it's as long as you continue to pump, your body will generate
That's what
those
I
type of
thought.
hormones, like to get the glands going.
Damn.
And then sometimes like they dry up, and then you have to fucking suck them.
That's called blue cheese in your salad.
But going back to your guys' situation, because your baby's not taking the milk, are you guys just pumping it and tossing it, or are you guys?
Well, my girl, though, she hasn't lactated ever. They never took.
Oh, okay.
So after her shit dried up, it was just done. She was just done.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then that was when we. Oh man, that was an old man. Cross your legs. You all right?
I don't know what the hell has happened to my kneecap, but like when I step down and I bend my knee, I get this sharp pain under
dude.
my fucking kneecap,
You're talking.
dude.
You're singing to the choir here. I went
I don't know
to
what the fucking deal is.
2 weeks ago. There was my last soccer game. I hurt my foot, and then your boy has been hitting the gym. It's just some light, but this Monday was leg day. So what do? I'm fucking deadlifting shit and everything, and I hurt my foot again. So I've been limping like the biscuit the entire week. And then at work, I get off of my machine, and what's the dirt? Not even. So my foot's on. And I go, oh, fuck, dude. And now I got to be walking. It's like, oh, it's such a pain in the ass.
How did you guys end?
40. Oh, we tied 7-7.
Your season? You guys won 7, lost 7?
No, the last game. No, we did horrible, obviously. It's all right. It's
still fun, though.
Oh yeah, it took.
Are you glad you did it?
Yeah, of course. That's the same thing that I'm doing the gym, and I actually didn't wanted to mention it, but it's getting me out of the house when I'm not in the house. See what I'm
good.
saying? So now
That's
I
good.
get home, and right as I'm leaving, Brian is leaving to do his karate or whatever, his jiu-jitsu or whatever, you know. And then when I'm back,
You mean King? Because
Yeah.
come on.
Yo, when he said that, I just think about Joey Diaz karate.
Joey Karate? Yeah, dude, you've seen those videos?
Yeah, remember back in the day.
and then when I come back, Brian's back, so that's when we have dinner and we bullshit and touch
Jerk
each other's
each other
wieners.
off,
Yeah,
yeah.
let's see, we're on the same page. Yo, how was DJing for the fights?
Oh man, it was an incredible experience. You know what I mean? I've been in Utah local MMA since 2008-9. Since Jeremy opened his first gym, and I've seen guys come and go, and I've been in the octagon hosting rap battles. Now to be able to DJ in arguably Utah's biggest arena for a local promotion like Fierce Fighting Championship, man, there's no words, man. It's best of both worlds, right? Music, fighting, and just good vibes, man.
Dude, I was listening to your last episode, and you were saying that your needles took a shit there for a second.
Yeah, bro.
But then I was pumping gas, or getting some fuel before I got here. Before I paid $250 in fuel, I was like, what if he has to go to the bathroom?
Yeah, man. There's no bathroom breaks.
Gatorade bottles, man.
Yeah, Gatorade bottles.
Back, old school.
Literally.
He has the drape over there. You can basically hide it.
You know what? They actually don't work because there's people behind me.
That's right.
You could you could see everything around me, yeah, that's why I'm like, yo, don't pick your nose, don't fucking pick a wedgie, because everybody sees you, and on top of that, the pay-per-view sees you because the camera's on you when they're walking out. I might be like in the corner, but they still see me. So I'm like, yo, don't do anything crazy. And then it started hitting. It dawned on me like towards the main card. I was like, oh shit, I'm on pay-per-view. Instead of like just standing there, maybe I should be like, yeah, like you guys are walking out. Let's get hype a little bit. And so
and that's when you drop Selena.
And then I had to play Selena. I did, man. Wearing
Angel looks at me. He's like,
yeah.
He pulls the phone out.
I love Selena. I'm me wherever I go.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And you know,
I got my Gatorade bottles wherever I go.
Unapologetically me anywhere I go. So I love Selena.
Yeah,
We're in West Valley City, a huge Hispanic population, and it's West Valley City. So I dropped Selena, and just like I dropped the other side of the Beehive over the mic, people would be like, yo, like, why you ain't supposed to do that? But no, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do what I feel is like in the moment. And so yeah, man, I dropped Selena, man.
I dropped Selena.
that was did you guys have fun?
Yeah, it was a blast.
So you went the last fight. You went to 18. That was 19 that we just had, or that they just had. Did you see the growth between 18 and 19?
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, the floor tickets were sold out in a half hour.
It's crazy.
And secondly, it was a lot bigger of a crowd, but a tighter production, right? It was not that 18 was not good, but it was like, oh, now they got the groove of it, you know. And Cynthia Calvillo was there.
Yeah.
Did you hear?
With Jason,
I found out,
dude.
Yeah. Mitch was there too.
I found out through him what happened to Zach.
Yeah. His son broke his leg.
Dog.
The day of the fight.
Dog, like hours before.
Yeah.
So when you said that it was tighter, obviously I didn't work 18. I worked 19. Yeah. So I don't know. As a spectator, I'm like, well, one, the crowd, there's a shit ton more people here. And it just felt bigger. I don't know what that means, but it just felt bigger.
So I said it was like it was tight. It was like one fight to the next. We didn't have long drawn out stuff. The production was dope. The lighting was good. The announcing was awesome. It was just I wanted to go back and watch it on pay-per-view. I haven't had a chance to, but now you can watch it for free from what I believe.
Yeah.
If you just go to Fierce Fighting Championship. But yeah, it was a great show. Show.
When you said that, I was like instantly like, yo, we were scrambling. Like shit was because Zach, you gotta think Jason had the pay-per-view and he had the in-ring announce or interview, and we weren't ready for that. On top of that, I don't know my cues. I don't know when to go. I don't know when, because they got to do the pay-per-view talk, and then it goes to the announcer, and then I started to feel my groove. And I think honestly, if I wasn't from the culture of fight culture,
right,
I would have done horrible. Like,
you
I
would
would
have just been a call-in DJ. You would have had no idea, but you knew how it's supposed to sound.
Yeah, so. And like once my shit got back up, and shout out to my man Joey from the Maverick Center, man, he had my back. It was terrifying though. When my shit stopped working, I'm the music. I mean, I'm the guys that walk out. I have fighters telling me, "Yo, I want you to shout this out before I come out." I'm like, "Dog, I'm just pressing play for your music." But man, it was a lot of fun. Shout out to Fierce Fighting Championship. Shout out to Damage Plan MMA podcast, Utah's #1 podcast, MMA podcast. Zach and Jason, man, I can't thank those guys enough. Like to the point where, well, I'll tell you guys after. Did
anybody give you props and stuff from the team?
Yeah. I got a lot of props. Even when I was wrapping up, like the staff, a couple fighters said that they enjoyed it. They had a big problem with it being. So here's the problem is that with the floor seating, there's people right underneath the speaker, right? Mm-hmm. So you can't be too loud for them to blow out their ears, but you also want to be loud enough for the crowd,
for the whole entire crowd,
right? Yeah. So it's a healthy balance where you're not going to make everybody happy, right? I'm not going to play every song that everybody loves. Mm-hmm. Hatch's family was like, "Yo, play that song again." The Whip and Nene watch me. They're like, "Yo, play it again," and I was like, "All right, well, they're the only kids really dancing, like really having fun." Yeah. So I was like, "All right, I'll play it again," and then Hatch won, so I was like, "Of course, like I got you."
So is it fair to say you'll be the next DJ again? Or?
I don't know, to be honest with you.
I've been telling J_Sim68 to get his hands in there.
I've been telling J_68 to do a lot of things, but
I've been telling J_Sim68 that
To get off his ass again.
yo, I'm a busy
Nothing
motherfucker.
would give me such a proud boner than to say, that's my guy right there.
Is it because you don't have enough energy, or is it that you're scared?
I'm not scared. This was the
You're scared, motherfucker.
I mean,
Go to church.
when this started, I was scared. Now that I'm comfortable doing this, I'm not scared. It's just, but I've said it before, until I can indulge 100%, be completely dedicated to it, like we are with this, I'm afraid, that's what I'm afraid of.
I think it's because you have to do research, right? So you have to,
Absolutely.
you basically have to go home and study, especially people that you're going to interview.
Yeah, it's just not, or it won't be real. It'll just be some asshole just yapping what he thinks when he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Well,
right?
I think that you have an opportunity to do honestly whatever you want in the local space, whether if it's you having your own podcast, having your own segment, or even down to talking to Fierce Fighting Championship, talking to Zach and Jason about doing some in-crowd interviews.
Those guys have been like, other than you guys, those guys have been fan number one. I mean, Jason all the time, what do I need to do to help you out? You need some fighters. You want me to hook you up with this? And
Love that guy.
Those guys have always pushed me, and it's gonna happen. I don't want to jump into it unless I'm right there. I'm just getting a guy trained up on my old job because I took a new position about a month ago. At work, and so I'm getting the guy trained up to what I was doing, and it's helping a little bit. We're not quite there yet.
Yo, so what if they called him more and they asked, would you do it?
Absolutely. They wouldn't even get the words out, and I'll be there. What time?
Hell yeah.
I think it's dope. You know what you can do. I hope the only reason I think people like Angel and I say it is so you don't
forget it,
and so that you have support.
So you don't let it pass, because we met at the bar last week and we were talking about this, and he was just mentioning, because he gets to see it from another perspective. I wasn't there for 18, so I didn't get to experience that. But I was talking to him and he's like, dude, it's gotten so big just from the last one, and I was just like, dude, I wish now that it's starting to grow, Justin would just get at least his grain of salt there, so when it becomes a massive thing, he's already a part of it. And that's what I brought up to him. I was like, dude, I wish he was like, dude, let me do something, whether it's small or big, just let me get in there somehow. And that's when we started talking about it.
It'll happen on his, when Justin's ready. Just know that you got support, and obviously those guys support you, right? That's why I had you come and talk about it on the radio with us
and cuss on the radio.
Yeah.
He told me that.
Yeah. That shit happens, man. I've cursed on the radio.
I got excited.
Yeah.
I got excited about
That's
it.
your shit. That's your world.
I was like, this fucking, we're over. You got some good fucking fighting trays. I'm like, what?
And I felt Jason too, and I was like,
can you imagine just as Maverick said it, how the fuck y'all do it? We're like, whoa, dude, what the
get excited about it. And then I didn't know, I should have put two and two together that, hey, this might be a segment on the radio. I thought this was for Dre.
Yeah. I hear you. I've been there.
Yeah, it was definitely. I want to maximize everything.
You did a great job, by the way, of editing it. You did a great job.
Thank you. What did your that was your kid's first time at the fights?
Yes.
What did they think?
They hated it.
Did they? They didn't enjoy it?
They're just not. I mean, they enjoyed when Eric got out.
Yeah.
They could feel
the
that
very end.
we were excited about it. And they got into it.
Because Eric has been in your house too, right?
Yeah,
When you guys
they know
party and stuff?
Eric, and so it was different then. But to get through the whole thing, like their attention span's not on fighting.
Yeah.
So I had to give them my phone, and they played games or whatever. So they're not quite into it like Dad's into it.
Yeah, and that's expected, right? Like,
Yeah, they were kind of playing around with me.
They still had
warming
fun.
up to me.
pause.
They still had fun.
All right.
That's fucked up, dude. Those kids have hated me for the longest time, and I was talking to them, dude. And I'm
You
like,
talk shit on kids.
No,
You think
and I
kids
was
are gonna
talking-
love you?
I was talking
We
to
always
them.
talking shit on
Your
them?
kid loves me. He walked down the stairs and came out and talked to me. No, because I'm like, dude, I've been doing this with your dad for 3 years, and you guys don't like me yet. So I'm like poking at him, like making fun of him, and they're like, "No, you're all right."
I walk out the bathroom, and your boy's standing outside the women's room waiting.
Yeah, for his mom.
For his mom to come out. But I seen him in the bathroom. I walked up. I'm like, hey, you wash your damn hands? He just stared at me dead
That was
eyes.
so funny. We went back in.
He just slaps Justin.
I bought Dad, I'm like, wash your hands. He's like, looks at me. I went like this. He's like, I walked off. He's a good kid. He's a good kid.
Yeah, he's a solid kid, man, and he's warming up to him as well, right? He does.
Yeah.
His attention span isn't all the way there just yet. But it's also cool to have your kids see you do something like
Yeah.
that, right?
Yeah.
Like when your offspring, the person that's gonna be carrying your name over this fucking generation shit, to be like, yo, I see my like when he's driving down with his kids and he's going in West Valley and he sees the Maverick Center or whatever it's gonna be called. And he's like, yo, my dad DJ'd there. I seen him DJ there. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of where I'm at in life right now. Is like I want to do dope shit, not for myself, but for my kids, so my kids can be like, I remember my dad did this.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Then you also have the ability to do the video with him, like that soda reaction.
Yeah, Foodie Food Friday. That was his idea. He was like, Dad, I want to do a Foodie Food Friday with this new Mountain Dew. And I knew he was a chicken out. I was like, all right, let's do it. And he was like, nah, I really don't want to do it now, Dad. I was like, nah, you bought this
we're
shit.
already now.
I was like, let's go to the studio now. And so the whole time when we're driving to the studio, he's like, Dad, do you think it's hot? You know, he's hyping himself up. Dad, do you really think it's really hot? Like, am I gonna sweat? Should I get some water? I'm like, you'll be all right. You know, Mountain Dew ain't gonna be that high. It's gonna taste a little bit like cinnamon. You'll be all right. Yeah, man. He's a cool kid, man.
Dude, speaking of kids, my kids took me out for dinner.
That was pretty sweet.
That was
dude.
pretty cool, dude. I was like holding tears. I was like,
So that is the first time I've seen a picture of her.
yeah.
What's her name?
Madison?
Madison. A spitting image of Amy.
Yeah.
A spitting image of Amy. Holy shit.
Ever since she was a little girl. And it was funny because
is it spitting or is it splitting?
Spitting.
spitting.
I think it's splitting.
Splitting image? I think it's spitting.
Because when you split an image, you'd have her face over here and Amy's
That
face
makes
over here.
sense. But I
what's-
always thought it was spitting image.
What are you spitting?
Well, I spit on her, but she didn't like it. So
On your daughter?
yeah, I'm just kidding. Well, they took me for dinner. I'm like, I don't like this.
Hey, bro.
my bad. So they take you out for dinner.
Yeah, so they took me out, and it was 2 out of 3, and it was cool, man. I had fun. I opened up to them a little bit. I'm like, listen, man, I understand that I wasn't. It's Googling it.
For the majority of language columnist, spitting image is an they say it's either way.
Oh, okay.
So corruption or original expression, split and image. Yeah, so it's either way.
Gotcha.
Oh, nice.
And it was funny when I started typing it in, it knew exactly what I was asking. So we're not the only ones that have asked this term.
No, so I had a little moment with them and I went, listen, I understand that I wasn't a father figure because I don't think that's in me, as shitty as it sounds. But I was a friend, or I was trying to be a friend. And for them to be that old, see, once again, like when I met them, they were 3, 5, and 7. Now they're 21, almost 23, and 25.
Was the
So it's
boy
like-
the 3-year-old?
No, there's a youngest one out of 2.
Okay, so you met
there's
with the
2
two
girls
oldest.
and the boy in the middle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I was like, listen, man, I get it that I wanted to be a friend more than a father figure, but I did say, but you guys are like the closest things that I have to kids, and you guys literally will be it because you know I can't have kids, and they were like no, and at the end, you know, we hugged and we were like we love you, and then Kayla was like, he's like, yeah, I would love to be your kid. Let's be your kid again. And I was like, thanks, buddy. And then Madison texted me two nights ago, and she goes, what are you doing? It's very specific. What are you doing this day, this time? And I'm like, and at this point, because I don't have that anymore, I'm like, I'll do whatever it is you want me to do. I'll cancel everything. You just tell me what you want to do. And she goes, let's take you out to dinner, the 3 of us this time. And I was
nice.
like, I'm down.
That's cool,
Let's do
man.
it. Yeah. So that was like, that was pretty special to me. I was like, fuck yeah.
If you met a chick that you fell in love with head over heels,
Yeah.
would you consider reversing it if she wanted to have a kid?
Probably not.
That would be the deal breaker, huh? Is even if she was everything you could
Or maybe
imagine.
I'll tell him I did it, and then I just
Like if-
I just bust him.
if she let you do ass to mouth and everything.
Ooh. You know what? I don't know because like I said before, I just turned 40 and I still don't regret it.
Yeah, but guys, it doesn't matter.
No, but I don't know if I will. So maybe at one point it'll get to a point where like if I like you say, if I'm falling in love with somebody and she's like, especially if she doesn't have kids, and you're like, hey, I'm like,
So there's a chance.
I don't know.
There's a chance, huh? So you're saying there's a chance, huh?
I think one in a million.
I think there is, man, because just based upon what you said alone is like you want to come home to something, right?
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, man, there's no better feeling than coming home and your kids are like, Dad.
Yeah.
And they've cleaned the house. They've taken the garbage out. Yeah, that fucking feeling's great. Hope I imagine that one. Hope I get to feel that one day.
They do all the shit that you don't want to do.
Hell yeah, I'm down with that. No, but it was very special. So so the fact that they were like, hey, we want to do it again, the three of us this time. I was like, it means even more than that. Now, Caleb on the other side, you gotta understand, he's even though he's kind of growing into it, he's autistic and he's also in a wheelchair. So every now and then he's talking and I go, Caleb, you gotta turn your voice down. Like the whole entire place is listening to you. And so we started talking about having Comcast or Netflix and all that kind of stuff, right? And I said, well, at home I have the Fire Stick. And we were like comparing Fire Stick to Hulu, whatever, all the stuff.
Right.
Caleb, in his head, thinks about this, and then all of a sudden waits for the whole conversation to die down. And he goes, well, if I ever caught a disease, I will also have a Fire Stick. I'm like, what the fuck? Where does that? And to that, Madison goes, I have a list of shit that Caleb has said just out of the blue that is just so fucking funny. And she's like, dude, fucking Caleb, he's like, well, if I ever get a disease, I will also have a Fire Stick.
He understands timing, and that is huge.
But like, he said it in the way that he thinks that you had a disease.
No.
He's like, yo, if I ever, because I know you did.
Oh, it was so funny, dude. I was like, I spit fries everywhere, dude. I'm like, that is the fucking funniest shit ever.
Did you add them to your life insurance or what?
Maybe I will. They're the only ones. Who else? Maybe my mom.
Sister?
My mom, my sis.
Did you go out with your sister for your birthday?
My sister's in Portland.
But I swear on the video she said that she was.
Yeah,
She is
she was
coming.
coming in.
I just don't know. I wanted to post that video so bad, but I don't think my mother knows she's coming because we're doing it behind her back. So, but she'll be here at the end of this month, and she's like, "Hey, I want to surprise mom," and I was like, "Oh, well, we'll do it." But I told her about the video, and I'm like, kind of wanted to post it, and her and I were like, just post it, whatever. If she sees it, because she's like it's like 8-minute video, and she's way at the end. She's the last one. Yeah. So my sister's like, just post it. If we have to come up with something, I'll tell her I fucked up, and it was just whatever. Now I'm saying it here, but
Your mom don't listen, right?
my mom will listen. Hopefully,
your mom does.
I saw mom today. She picked up the little one to take her birthday shopping.
Oh yeah, when was it?
So Addie's was last Friday, and the wife's was yesterday. Mm-hmm. Shout out to them. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Or are you doing anything?
We're gonna go do something tonight.
Oh,
we were
nice.
supposed to go to dinner last night. They went to Bear World, and they didn't get back till a little bit later, so we didn't.
Is that in Wyoming?
Idaho.
Yellowstone?
Like close to Yellowstone, yeah, like Idaho side.
You going to?
No, they went yesterday.
Oh,
while we were
they're not
working
here?
out. I was like, she played a trick on me. I'm gonna call you out on this,
Hun.
yeah, babe. My alarm goes off. I get up. Never in the history of us being together has she ever woke up when I woke up.
Ooh.
And I'm like, what are you doing? She's
Yeah.
like, I can't sleep. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, makes sense. You know, you're on nights, you know, and she goes, when she's not working, she goes right back to days. So she spends 3 days on days and then goes back to nights. I'm like, I don't know how the fuck you do it.
Wow.
But I'm like, oh, okay. Love you. Have a good day. I leave.
And then she starts tongue punching your
So
Firebox.
I get...
No? Oh, okay. Keep going.
It was her birthday, not mine.
Touche.
So I go to work. I get all my shit done so I can hurry up and get out of there as
Yeah.
soon as I can. I get home at 3 o'clock. The house is empty. I'm like, oh, well, maybe they ran around. So I sit on the couch for like an hour, like waiting. Nobody shows up. Another hour goes by. It's 5 o'clock.
There's a no that this is not working for me.
I'm all cologne. I'm ready to go to fucking dinner. I bought her flowers and I have presents and everything for
You
her.
got the mariachi ready to play as soon as she walks in.
Standing there waiting.
Don't worry, guys. She'll be here any minute.
It's no good stuff.
The pinata's leaking. So I'm waiting. I get a text message from my mom. She's like, "Did you go to Bear World too?" I'm like, "The fuck are you talking about? Did I go to Bear World? I've been at work all damn day." She's all, "Oh." So I asked the wife, "When are you gonna be home?" She's all, "An hour." That's all I got. Hour. I go, okay. So an hour goes by, nothing. An hour 15 goes by, nothing. I'm like, so we're going.
I'm rock hard right now.
It's 6:30. I'm like, are we going to dinner tonight or what? Nothing. No response. All of a sudden, the car pulls up, full of fucking bugs on the grill.
Oh man.
I'm like, and I knew where they went. I'm like, so where did you go? She's like, oh, last minute trip. We decided to go to Bear World, which is great. You know, they enjoy going out there. I'm like, is it fucked up? But I was like, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you say something to me?
My concern is that they literally went to another state.
They're right.
Like a whole other state. It's not like I just went to Salt Lake or I went to, Riverton. You went to a fucking different state.
And I'm like, I had no idea. I'm sitting there with my vest on, my two-piece, and my fucking blazer on, ready to go.
She's like, "I bought edibles."
No show up. Nothing. I'm like, what the hell is going on? She's like,
"Here's a
well,
teddy bear."
it was last minute. And I was like, I laid in bed and I pondered. I'm like, you got up at 6 a.m. As soon as I walked out the door, you woke those fucking kids up. You got in the car and you drove. Shout out to the Audi. Made it one take of gas.
Of
fucking
course.
500 miles. Still gas to show. I filled it up on the way over here. $75 for 13 gallons
That's
of gas.
That diesel, baby.
I filled up at the work truck because I wanted to get a car wash at Slim Olson's. $5.75 a gallon.
I put 100 in my truck today, and it didn't stop.
And it
I put
cut
100.
you off,
I'm like,
right?
No,
So, no
this
more?
one don't count. This one doesn't cut you out.
So why did she tell you? They didn't want you to go?
Maybe that's
It
it.
was a girls' trip?
Maybe she thought that I would be upset that they were going.
Wait, so it was just her and the kids?
First off, she kept the kids out of school. Now, when I talk about do that, I'm like, fuck it, we're going on a camping trip. She's like, but what about school? I'm like, fuck school.
It's like, hey.
They don't teach kids shit there anyway. All they do
Especially
is
this
fuck
month.
around.
This
Yeah.
month, it's a shit show.
Right. And she's like, no, the kids got to school. But what about yesterday when you decided to go to Bear World?
Hey, crime scene starts like this, motherfucker.
So my mom is the one that tipped me off that's where they were at because she sent her pictures that they were at Bear World.
Yo,
My
why
mom's
did
like,
Dad get pictures of Bear World?
No, it's
of the
because
kids
they
having
were,
fun.
They were holding that a secret that they went to Bear World.
That's kind of a
So what was the plan? That they were gonna come back, you wouldn't know?
And then that's what
It's so
I asked.
late.
I'm like, and then they came back. They all got T-shirts. I'm like, well, where's my shirt at?
Well, you didn't
She's
go.
like, well, you didn't go. And if I'd have bought you a shirt and we got away with it, you would have never known. So,
Damn.
but no, I'm glad she went and did something that they enjoyed and they had fun on her birthday. And so I was like, it's okay. It's not a big deal. I said, next time,
Okay,
if you
I got up early for work for nothing.
If you leave the state, just tell me. That
You
way I
leave the
know.
state.
And
Holy
if you're not
shit.
coming back, please tell me too.
I'm surprised you waited a whole hour, 15 minutes before you reached out.
Yo, but it was just her and the girls.
And her mom.
Oh, okay.
And her mom, yeah.
I'm like worried. If I get home, my family's not home. Where the fuck are you?
But I knew for sure because it was her birthday and her mom lives, you could see her mom's house from my house, right? So the girls get out of school early at 1:25 on Fridays. I get home at 3.
Yeah, I'm good.
I thought, well, maybe they went to go shopping for her birthday or maybe they just are hanging out over there. So I waited an hour. That's when I said, hey, when are you going to be home? Hour is all I got. So after that, I was
Text
like,
message?
yeah.
I would have been worried. Are you kidnapped? Like, don't just text me an hour. Like, I need confirmation. Send me a video.
How much money I need?
Yeah, I need a selfie with a bear, motherfucker. Yeah, send me all the selfies. Especially, like, anytime my wife is out with the kids and they're doing something fun, regardless, Nickelcade, whatever it is, just send me pictures of the kids. Like, I want to
Yeah.
see everybody having a good time. I don't care if it's mommy kid day. Like, do your thing. But send me pictures. Let me see what's going on with the fam. Like, I just want to make sure you guys are good because we talk about it all the time now. We're the protectors, right? And your family's in a whole nother state. What if one of those bears fucking get loose?
Well, and then she when she finally gets home and we decide, well, we'll just grab something to eat, just close, and we'll just eat at home.
Costa
She's like,
Vida, huh?
No, actually, we had Dairy Queen. We got a Dairy Queen by our house, and she wanted chicken strips or whatever. Right?
Hey, Dairy Queen's great
you
like
broke?
bowling alley food.
You broke?
Am I broke?
Yeah.
I went to. So, by the way, Dairy Queen for 4 people to eat, $42.
Yeah, I was gonna say
damn.
it's
It's
pretty.
not cheap.
Did you get a Blizzard?
No, I'm not an ice cream guy like that. I used to be.
Are you an
like
ice
years
cream
ago.
fan? Yo, remember when we went to
Leather
Oh
Bees?
yeah,
Leather Bees?
Yeah,
dude.
but I forgot what I was gonna fucking say. I had
You guys went out to dinner.
Yeah.
no. Oh yeah. So we sit down and we eat. She pulls out her phone. She's like, "Did you see this?" I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, a man stabs 2 women, and cops are looking for video footage for the areas that he stabbed these women. He just walked up to a gas station, stabbed a woman, and then went to a camping area where people go trail hogging, stabs another woman.
Damn.
I'm like, well, you're not helping your case right here by not telling me what's going on. So there's a reason I put a gun on your hip everywhere you go. I mean, it's scary, man.
It's terrifying.
Dude, I ruined a surprise one time. It was for my birthday, and I know this because I just got it as a memory on my birthday. And the ex-wife and the oldest daughter, they were gonna give me what is called, and I didn't know about this until that day. They were gonna give me a heart attack. So what they did is like they went inside of the Yukon back then, and they put a bunch of paper shaped. What is it?
Are you having a seizure?
Heart-shaped paper.
Yeah, it sounds like you're having a heart attack right now.
It's got an order. A heart-shaped pieces of paper. They were all colored and shit. It was like, oh, we love you, happy birthday, whatever. But they had hundreds of them, and they were gonna put it all over inside of the Yukon. And
This dude's over here struggling.
Yeah.
You need to. It's a good thing you got rid of Dre Spaniel. You need to see Dre English now.
so I was laying in bed, and all of a sudden I wake up and the ex-wife's not there, and I was like, "Yo, what the fuck?" And so I started I started texting her, like, "Where are you?" And so I come outside and I see that they're in the car, in my ex-wife's car, but they're just parked like a block away. And me, being who I am, I'm like, "What the fuck is going on?" You know what I mean? And they were like, "This
You
dumbass."
fucked it up.
I'm like, "Just go to fucking bed." And they were like, "We're fine." It was just both of them. I was like, "No, but what's going on? What are you guys doing here?"
ruined
And they were
that.
like, "Just go to bed." And I'm like, fuckers, you know what I mean? I just go back inside and I wake up the next day. I'm like, I am such a moron, dude. My fucking Yukon was like covered in fucking paper art. And I was like, God, I apologize. Obviously, it felt like suspicious. I was like, fuck you guys doing over there? And they're like, no, it's for you, dumbass. Go back to bed. I was like, no, I ain't going back. You guys come back. I was like, this stupid
I ruined
dumbass.
a surprise party too.
Did you?
Yeah, it was like I think it was my 27th or something like that, and I had DJ'd the night before, and so I was tired. I was like, I just want to chill. It was a UFC fight night, and so I was like, let's just go home. Let's get some grub and let's go home. And so my girl's like, all right, let's go drop the kids off at the house, and we'll do some running around. And so we did a couple running around and whatnot, and then I'm like, all right, can we go home now? Like, I'm ready to go. And so she's like, hold on, like, we gotta go here. We gotta go pick up this cake from my one of my really good friends, Moana. She's like, she made you a cake, made you your favorite dip. And so I'm like, all right, fuck, let's make it hurry, because I'm trying to go see the fights. So we get to Moana's house and we walk in, and she's decorating like for me. I'm like, what the hell? There's like a red carpet. It's like they made it like a Hollywood theme, so everybody had like these premiere passes with my face on them and stuff. And I'm like, oh, that's my face. I'm like, this looks like a party. and then my friend at the time, DJ Jello, he's like coming in with his equipment and stuff. I'm like, hey, you need help with that, bro? I guess this is the party. Yeah, I totally ruined it.
They're like, oh, get the fuck out of here.
That was the last time I blacked out drunk, man. I got wasted that
It's your
night.
birthday, dude. Fuck it.
Yeah, man. So are you gonna see your kids Father's Day? I'm assuming that you guys are gonna plan something next month.
I hope so. I mean, I know that I'm not the father, but and you know what I also thought about? I was talking to the oldest, and she's been with her boyfriend for like a couple years or something. But she's very independent. She has her own place, a nice place, by the way, a very expensive place, and lives with her boyfriend. And I was talking to her, and I'm like, you think about marriage or anything like that? And she goes, I do, but it's not. I'm not ready yet. And I was like, great. I was like, but imagine that, it was like, hey, do you want to come? And I was like, I guess.
So would you walk her down the aisle and shit?
Obviously, if I'm asked. But I'm sure it'll be like one of those half and half. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You walk her the first half and then...
Yeah.
Okay.
But I would.
So I was talking about this earlier, and we kind of switched directions, but I watched that Netflix show about the doctor who was the insemination doctor.
Our Father?
Yeah. I watched it last night, and I was like, oh, my God. And it was, like, good.
Yeah.
And then it gets to the very end.
Dog, so give the premise of it.
So back in, like, the late 70s and 80s, this guy who was he was a reverend, a priest or whatever in the community, like the premier doctor in this place in Indiana. And he was doing artificial insemination to women. And, he let him know, he's like, well, we have a number of donors. We only use a donor 3 times max. And they're all college grad students that we get the sperm from. So he had a lot of people come into this clinic. Well, it turns out this guy would get him set up. He would go into a back room, beat off into a cup, and use his semen to put it into the women. By the end of it, and you'll have to sit by, it's not a spoiler. Yeah. You have to watch this fucking thing. By the end of it, as of right now, there's 97 kids that are all related. And this didn't come to light until 23andMe and Ancestry.com came, where people could see, a lot of them knew your dad was sterile. So we went to or this was the fucked up one, or your dad, I was confused. I don't know if you couldn't get an erection or how it was, or it wasn't working properly, but a man would beat off into the cup, give the specimen to the woman. The doctor would take that sperm and inject it into her multiple times so that she could try and get him. He was doing his.
Oh, dude.
97 fucking kids so far confirmed. And they said when Ancestry.me and all that shit came, that they have busted 44 other clinic doctors to doing the same fucking thing. He was just the most prevalent doctor to have the most amount of kids.
God, this dude was a sick fuck, bro. You gotta think it was a small town in Indianapolis, right? So they're passing people that look like each other, right? The scary thing about it is that you don't know if you're fucking your cousin, or your brother, right?
Yeah, they brought it up.
Or sister.
They all blonde hair, blue eyes.
Because this motherfucker was a part of a cult. He was trying to preserve the Aryan race.
Yeah. Blonde hair, blue eyes. Ooh. Motherfuckers.
Christian. You go into his office. There's
what if I did that instead of getting fixed? What if I just sold my jizz?
You
can't,
ain't
no good.
Yeah, it's no good.
No, now it's not.
Oh,
before I get
it's no good.
It's no good stuff. But what if I did that, and then all of a sudden I got, instead of saying, well,
I think that'd be hard, bro.
Well, here's the problem. So when they were talking about it, you had to go through a stringent application process. If you had any health problems, you were eliminated.
Heart disease.
This motherfucker had immune deficiency with him. So Crohn's disease, what I have. And but he said, fuck it, I'm still putting him in it.
Yeah. Hereditary shit that fucked these kids up without anybody's knowledge. The wife, the moms, they didn't consent to this. They didn't even charge him with rape, bro. He didn't get charged with rape.
Nothing, because it's not against the law what he was doing. Now there's a new law saying basically it's rape, right? You can't do that. But back then they were but you gave him permission to put somebody's semen in you. He got away with all of it. The last one that they interview, the last one that comes out of the very end where it was a family friend that he did that's the one where I went, this motherfucker's going to burn in hell.
Yeah.
Wait, so he's still alive?
Oh, yeah.
Dog, this piece of shit, $500 fine. That's it.
$500 fine.
Damn.
For lying about doing it. Not for doing it, but for lying about doing it. This piece of shit, bro. When the children confronted him, it was 10 of them, right? They all went to a meeting and they had dinner. This motherfucker shows up with a gun on his hip and was defending himself the whole time. Didn't care what he didn't admit what he did was wrong. And on top of that, the first chick that brought it up, he was like, yo, don't go to the news station. It would ruin my marriage. And she's like, well, you did this. Like, this is a bad thing.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I know, but hey, just want you to know that what you're about to do is going to ruin my marriage. It's like, fuck your marriage.
Yeah.
You didn't care about my mom. You didn't care about all these other women that you were doing this shit to at the time. Think about what that does to a person, man. Like, think about if you find out that your dad's not your dad, right? Think about or you, right? Or me. It kind of ruins. It makes you think, like, who am I?
Right.
Like, what's your identity now?
Right.
Right.
I had a person that I work with. You would know who he is when I tell you. Same thing. He grew up with his mom and dad, and then he looks very much like his mom. His brother looks very much like his dad, and there was a point in time he came to find out, Dad, it's not my dad. He just took over me from when I was a kid.
That would ruin my life.
But I was like, but I'm like, but who do you know as your dad? He's like, this guy right here. But then who cares?
Yo, this is how I have to let it out. Spoiler alert here. And if you don't if you're going to watch it, fast forward to 30 seconds, a minute later, right? 3, 2, 1. This motherfucker had a family friend since the 80s, a couple that they hung out with, in the community, whatever. She went to him to get artificially inseminated. He used his sperm in her the whole time, watched the kid grow up, the young lady grow up. Then, this is where it gets fucked up.
He did it to her.
No, he became, so that was his daughter. Yeah. He became her OBGYN and did all her examinations.
Piece of shit, bro.
A pile of shit.
God damn.
And he knew, but she never knew.
Yeah.
So he's in...
What is this called?
Our Father.
Our Father.
Our Father.
Dude, it was good. Netflix. Yeah, it's good, dude.
There's another one that it came out, I think, February, The Pharmacist. Have you guys watched that one?
I haven't watched it. I've seen it, but I haven't watched it yet.
It's fucking incredible, man. Premise of this one is a pharmacist that is working in this small community, is noticing, his son ends up getting murdered. But he ends up getting murdered in a part of Louisiana that lower 9th Ward, horrible place. At one point in the United States, it was the murder capital of the world. And his son ends up getting murdered, trying to get his fix, right? And so he was like, all right, the cops ain't caring about my son's murder because of where it happened, the location. It's like we have murders every fucking day. But this dad and this kid is from the suburbs, right? So he's like, no, I'm not letting this go. He ends up finding out his son's murder. He solves the case himself when the local PD didn't give a fuck about his son. He takes it one step further. He's like, all right, well, the problem is the drugs. Mm-hmm. He takes it a step further to find out doctors that are over prescribing medication. This is in the late 90s, it's like 98 or something, when Oxycontin first came out. Yeah. And they thought it was the miracle drug. We don't need to give a person a bunch of drugs. We can just give them one and it conquers all, right? And Big Pharma was dying on this hill that this was the miracle drug. Well, the dad, he ends up taking a big case against a pharmacist that was prescribing, a doctor that was prescribing like 80 milligram, 90-day supply for a patient that they just seen. There's no gradual. There's no nut. It was like, yo, here you go, boom. Same thing as heroin, right? It's the same equivalent.
Yeah.
And now they have zombies. And bro, like the way this dude fought Big Pharma, it changed a lot of things, but it upticked heroin, right? Because when there became restrictions on Oxycontin, they went to heroin. Yep. But at the time in Louisiana, they were seeing the most overdoses in America. Like The Pharmacist, it's an incredible documentary, and it really makes you think, like, how many people really need help with that shit?
Yo, Big Pharma is... and this has all come to light in the last couple months, so it's well documented that I deal with Crohn's disease, right?
Yeah.
And so I take a medication every 58 days, right? And what it is it's a shot that I take that lowers my immune system, because my immune system fights against itself, and that's kind of where I get the flare-ups, right? So you can have insurance, and we all know insurance doesn't cover everything, right? So I had to apply for a a help through the company. I'm not even going to say the shot that I take. The company that makes that shot, you can get like assistance from them to be able to afford the shot. Well, it turns out last year they did a revamp on my case, and they're like, "Oh, dude, you make too much money to qualify for this assistance." Now, I'm not rich by any means, right? I'm not in that low income. I'm right in the middle, right? And I says, just out of curiosity, I mean, what does a shot cost? Now I take it every other month, so I have to take 6 a year, right? They said to me, $25,000 a shot.
Jesus Christ.
A shot?
$25,000 a shot. And so I says, I was a little taken back. I says, okay, so you're telling me that to take this shot, it would cost me $150,000 a year just to take this shot, right? That's 6, right?
That's after insurance? Like your
No,
regular
that's before.
That's
What it is before, right? So after my insurance comes in, it's still $7,000 every other month for this shot. And you're going to tell me I still make too much money to be able to afford this shot? Now, thank God that I've gone to my insurance company. They've helped me out with another one through a local pharmacy that's pretty big in the country. And I figured out I pay a little bit out of my pocket, but I got thinking, I'm like, who the fuck can afford to take that shot to just get through life? And it's like $25,000. You really think that's a fair price tag for a fucking shot?
In order for you to survive, which is fucking weird.
And doesn't cost them shit to make it.
See, I went to like we usually say, it was being well documented. I work at another company now, and I'm working with you. And obviously, I'm in the middle of
insurance
and stuff like that. So then my pharmacist sent me a text saying like, "Hey, your prescription's ready for you to pick up." It's like, okay. Now I used to be on my ex-wife's insurance, which was very awesome insurance. So every time I went, my prescription was like $3,
right.
$5. And then a couple of months ago, I went and I said, "Oh, I got a prescription pickup for so and so." They gave it to me, and the chick looked at me and she goes, "Do you have insurance?" I'm like, "I don't think so. I'm in the middle of switching. You know, I left this job and now I got this job and I'm in between." And she goes, "It's $170 for pills, 30 pills." I'm like, and then I didn't even know if I was like,
He was like, "That's a pair of sneakers." Damn it.
like, "Yo, those are some Jordans." And I was like,
He takes off his shoes. Will you take these?
and I was just like,
Do you know where a pawn shop is?
dude, and I remember like I was so dumbfounded. She's like, "Let me see what I can do," and she typed in some code or whatever, and then she's like, "It's gonna be $40," and I was like,
Well, that's better.
I'm like, "I'll take it."
Yeah, that's better.
I'll take it.
How the fuck do they expect people to survive like that?
Yeah.
Like, and I get you.
They don't care, bro, because there's always somebody else.
Exactly. There's always an insurance company. There's always somebody else that's going to pay for it, right? So when it costs them $7 to make this shot that I take, somebody is going to pay that $25,000, right? Mm-hmm. And even if you're on like a government assistance or whatever, and they help you out, like you're either poor or you're rich as fuck. What about the people in the middle, right?
Yeah.
Nobody has $150,000 to spend
in shots
and tell me I make too much money. I don't make that much fucking money.
I think that's where a lot of us get in trouble because a lot of us are in the middle, right?
Right.
And I feel like the middle always feels the most pressure. Mm-hmm. And I feel like when the middle feels that much pressure, I mean, we're either gonna go to another tax bracket, and hopefully we do. I mean, I think that's what we all want, is to be in this other tax bracket at some point in time, or some shit's, you know, we're gonna fall to the bottom, man. And when you're at the bottom, you get desperate, and when you're at the bottom, you're gonna look at the people at the top like, I want you, like I want your shit. Well, and that's when you get home invasions. That's when you get things that are horrible. You see horrible things, but at the same time, we can't afford our medication. We can't. There's so much that we can't afford. Even if you do have a job, you know, you can go and get a job. But what happens if you have 3 kids?
Yep.
You know, there's things that happen in circumstances. Like we all can be victim to circumstances. Shit could happen. Shit can go down where you're no longer employed.
Yep. At any given moment.
Like that.
Yep.
Right? I mean,
Something that's not even your fault.
Exactly.
Just the way the cards fell, right?
Yeah. And man, it's just the luck of the draw, man. There's a lot of fucking lucky people out there.
We just talked about the formula, like shortage, right?
Yeah.
So what happens now when it starts coming back? They just going to double the price? And a can of formula that was like, it's expensive as it is, right?
Yep.
That shit is gold.
Yep.
You know, $20 for a week and a half.
Yeah.
So what happens when they double it?
You got to think too, formula doesn't have a long life once you put water in that shit.
Nope.
I think it has an hour and a half, 2 hours max.
Oh, really?
Yeah, bro. So if your kid is hungry and just wants a little, you don't know, it's a baby. They can't tell you like, oh, make me an ounce. I'm good with an ounce.
Yeah.
Don't make me 3 ounces. Make me an ounce.
They're not like King. They just put that shit in the fucking fridge. That fucking shit
This
in the
much
cup.
back in the fridge.
Right. So they can go really quick, or they can go. You can stretch. But yeah, man, they'll definitely raise those prices. We seen it with when the whole pandemic, when we shut down, we seen it. We seen price hikes.
Yep.
We seen it.
Yep.
And it's fucked up because they don't care about you. They don't care about us. Like when I say they, big pharma don't care about you. Big corporations don't care about you. Hell, like even the job that you have now, I guarantee you the executives that you work for don't give a fuck about you.
Yeah, fuck you, Justin.
Because, I mean, with all due respect, there are companies out there that do.
Yeah,
right?
like the one we work for. Asshole.
I hope they do. I hope they do.
Yeah.
But you know that in my experience, there's only a few people that give a fuck about you. And when push comes to shove, you're either gonna get pushed out the door or you're gonna get shoved out the door. And that's the fucked up thing, especially with these big companies and these big corporations. So that's why I'm like, yo, if you can make shit better, whatever it is, if you can help out another mother, maybe you have a thing of formula, just give it to them. Like, you know what I mean? It's a really weird time that we're in right now.
It's it's ever so be your brother's keeper, right? Mm-hmm. And right now is the time. We just got out of a pandemic, right? There's shortages everywhere. If you can help, fucking help right now.
And don't be too proud to ask for help or to seek some type of help, because I feel like people genuinely want to help people, but we also don't know how to help unless we know where to help.
Somebody asks us.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
That's why I'm always constantly fighting for the road home, because the road home is a fantastic foundation organization that helps a lot of people in our community, all off of donations. Yeah. They're not profiting off of shit. And there's people they are constantly looking out for people that are falling short on their circumstances, that we all can at any point. You know what I mean? So I think it's important to one, be up on those things, but then at the same time, if you need help, ask.
Yeah.
That's the kind of times that you take for granted, like everything that I used to have in Mexico. Mexico, there's not such thing. You know what I mean? Like you got insurance wherever you go. See what I'm saying? Like whatever you work. And remember when we were talking about taxes, and how we don't have taxes. When I went to my mother and I asked him about this, and he goes, "Well, your employer does all the taxes for you, so you don't have to."
Oh, okay.
So whoever you work for, he's the one that takes care of them. You don't have to worry about it.
That's a little scary. Because how do you know that they're not fucking you?
Yeah, good question. So, like, if they say, "Hey, Angel, we're going to pay," and we're just an easy number, we're going to pay you $10 an hour, right?
Yeah.
Do you get the $10 an hour? Or are you getting what's after the taxes they paid, or are they just inflating your? It's actually going to cost us $15 to keep this guy employed because $5 of that.
So I know for a fact that when you go and buy something, you buy what's on the price tag. That's how much you spend. There's no
so that's sales tax, but not working.
That's what I'm saying. But I don't know if that has something to do with it, to the point that if they're saying, "Hey, we're gonna pay you $10 an hour."
How long were you there?
18 years.
Well,
you didn't work there, huh?
Oh, well, he was a rich kid in one of those fucking.
That's true. He went to private schools.
And shit.
I work at a pizza place.
Had the maid fucking patting his ass and beating him off when his fucking face was all greasy.
Dude,
The greasy face angel.
When grandma says you got zits because you've been playing with your ding dong.
It's hilarious.
God damn it, dude.
You worked at a pizza place over there?
Yeah, I work at a
In Mexico?
majorly known pizza place here.
What was your
There.
first job in Mexico?
I used to help a lot my uncle. My uncle had like a little
Landscaping company?
no.
Damn.
No, he was a mechanic. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Excuse me, the best landscaping culture in the world. Mine on.
It's true. It's true. No, he had a couple of so he used to work for his uncle. He was like but so his uncle used to sell what we call it white line, which is refrigerators, TVs, microwaves.
Yeah.
And stuff. So he was the one that would go from house to house. He was given a motorcycle. He would go from house to house to collect the money, and I would go with him just to fuck around.
Like rent to own or something?
No. Like when you do payments.
Yeah,
This
rent to own.
This is way
If
back
you didn't
in the
pay
day.
it, you got that shit repo, right?
I don't know if that was repoed or, but I did that with him.
Oh,
So that was like a little. He would throw me a couple bucks here and there. Then he was in charge of an aquarium. But when I talk about aquarium, it's just like literally like a tiny room like this with a bunch of fish tanks and fish for sale and food and shit like that and equipment. So I worked with him there. So that was like my little jobs here and there.
Yes, I never knew this.
Yeah. But my first job, it was at a pizza place. The same pizza place
Here,
where I
though,
met.
right?
No, there.
Oh, they had it over there?
Yeah.
Is there a reason why we're not saying the name?
Oh, it was
Yeah,
Domino's.
they don't. I was gonna say they don't pay us to say their
Well,
name.
so I met Brian in that company here.
Did you tell him, hey,
But
I want to put in a transfer
but I
request? Where do you want to go? I'm like, another country.
No, but
The land of the free, the home of the brave.
But I think it was the reason. Do you remember that guy that I told you that co-signed for me to be a citizen?
Yes.
So his name was Jared. Shout out to Jared.
Fogel?
When I got a
Fuck. I instantly thought about the jewelry place. I was like, hey,
You see where our minds are at? I'm like, yeah, he's getting touched. You're all smaller.
whatever it takes to get a citizenship. So when I fill out my application, I said I used to work, at the same place in another country. So they hired me right off the get go. Like, oh, at least he's done it. And so I remember clearly I was working with him and I was just being the new guy my first day, and I was just like throwing toppings here and there. And then all of a sudden we got rushed, and it was just him and me. And then he goes, wait, you've done this before, haven't you? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, can you make pizzas while I answer phones? I'm like, fuck yeah, dude, I got you. And I was, and that's when we killed it, dude. All of a sudden I became he's good.
So I was listening to the last Beans and Rice podcast, and Hose is from Puerto Rico, right? He's Puerto Rican,
Yeah.
and Beefy's from Mexico, right? He was talking about how
He said Mexico, dude. He wants to sound all official.
he was
This
talking about
fucking
how
guy.
in Puerto Rico they don't have beards. It's not a thing. Is that how it was in your Yucatan? Was it, if you were to go home with that right now, what would they think of all this? Or is it common for the guys to have big beards?
I think Mexico in general, the mustache is what's known.
Yeah, because at
Beard?
12, you
Yeah,
guys
yeah.
have full fucking.
Well, I went to school. See, when
like
I
you
was,
had this at 12, right?
Nah, I've been
Really?
it's like I've been growing this. It's
But
12.
I'm sure I don't know what it was. All the kids I grew up with that were Latin, I was like, well, what the fuck? I don't have one of those.
Yeah.
They had nice fucking mustache already.
Yeah,
They didn't even have pubes and they had mustaches.
Dude, I remember there was a couple of friends that I went to high school with, and we were probably I'm talking about 16, 17 years old, and they had full beards to the point where like they were doing designs and shit, and I have my 3 fucking beards
Yeah.
going out. I'm like, what the fuck, man? This is so not fair. But beards, I don't know if beards are that big of a thing there, but it's not frowned upon. I mean, it's not like it's weird. It's just But you know what happens also is like where we live is so hot and so humid
Yeah.
that people just don't want to. I mean, somebody has long hair. You're like, fuck, are you serious? This heat?
Because over here at one point the mullet was in. Now it's back in now. But there was a point in time where if you had a mullet, you were like not cool.
Oh, dude.
You know what I mean?
If you
This
had
guy-
a mullet,
Dude.
Of course he had a mullet.
Spiked on one side right here. Pulled over like it is.
Acid
Just the
wash
spike.
jeans.
pulled over.
Permed mullet.
God
Thank you very
damn,
much.
dude.
Yeah, the curls
Permed
popping up.
mullet.
Have you seen that movie?
High fade. Oh, goddamn.
Jean-Claude Van Damme had a movie where he had curly hair in the back. It was just a mullet. I remember clear as day when I saw that movie. I'm like, that's how I'm gonna grow
Brian,
my hair. Fuck you, Brian.
That's when that Michael Jackson soundtrack was the boom doom doom boom boom. That was the soundtrack to that
come
movie.
together.
Yeah, come together.
Yeah.
Out of everybody that has redone that song, to me, Michael Jackson was the best. Because Godsmack did it.
Better than Aerosmith?
Yeah, to me, yeah.
I thought Aerosmith
Was that
pretty
Stones?
good. No, it was the Beatles.
Beatles.
Originally.
Oh, it was okay.
Dude, I gotta take a piss. I gotta pull a Justin.
So I was looking on my Facebook memories, and on this day, about 2 years ago, was the first time that we did the UFC Beehive Fight Night here.
Oh, the first and only Beehive Fight Night that we did.
So
The longest podcast we've ever
it
done,
was
by
like
the way.
3 hours,
Yeah.
3.5 hours, or something like that.
Yeah.
We got a fight tonight.
We do have a fight tonight.
Who's the main card? What's his name? Was he Bulgarian?
That's a good question.
He fought the guy that was that the guy that fought Izzy. And beat Izzy when Izzy went up.
It's on the tip of my
You know who I'm
fucking
talking
tongue.
about, though, right?
Yeah, so the UFC's building him up because it's the only guy to beat Izzy. I can't even fucking say it correctly.
But a big ass dude, right?
Yes.
And the guy he's fighting is a little bit taller than him. I look forward to seeing this fight because it's gonna shake some things up, I think.
So, he's not even on the main card.
No?
Because it's Jan Blachowicz. And fucking Alexander Rakic.
That's right.
Ryan Spann. Ion Kutalab. I think you're thinking of the next one, which
Maybe
is
I
am. Michael Piera.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's that one's on the 21st of May. Yo, Holly Holm, Caitlin Vera. You watched the last card, right?
Yeah.
Give me your take on the Rose Namajunas and Carlos Esparza fight.
I don't want to take
Was it as boring as everybody says it is?
I mean, considering who was fighting, right? Esparza's no joke. Like, and we know Thug Rose puts down.
Top wrestler, by the way, right?
I mean, I was expecting more, right? But at the same time, like, I don't like to say a boring fight. It doesn't get much boring than what was it, Ngannou and Blades?
Yeah.
Like that's boring, right? But yeah, I'm good. I'll take one more. I'm also, can I have one of those 801s? If you have one in there.
You brought all that beer and you're just gonna leave it there. You better take it with you.
No, you don't take. Yeah, I'll take that.
Ooh, that's a cutthroat. That's a good one.
That's
hey,
fine.
is there any more of those? Yeah, I'll have one of those. That's one of my favorite beers right now.
Yeah, it's a
Shout
local
out to
box.
Uena.
Yeah, I got the Uena box. It came with 3 different kinds, I think.
My wife has a Uena box.
But yeah, man, I thought it was. I wouldn't want to say boring because I don't want to disrespect the fighters for being in there and doing what they do, right?
Rose has always struggled with dominant wrestlers. You know, why was she so good against Joanna, right?
Yeah.
Stand-up striker, right?
Yeah.
She's good at countering, right? Why was she so good about
Wanjie?
Yeah, because
Yep.
a stand-up striker, right? But Carla beat her for the Ultimate Fighter finale, right?
Yeah.
Because she's just a grind, get in your face, hold you up against the cage, get you down, ground and pound. She's always struggled with them. And so I think people think of the highlight knockouts that Rose has, right? And the striking. all that gets nullified by a really good wrestler. Like Carla Esparza is no fucking joke.
I love her.
As far as a wrestler.
Were you guys okay with the decision?
Yeah.
She deserved it. Hella deserved
Absolutely. How about the Tony Ferguson?
it. I did not
KO.
see that happening. I had Chandler. Don't get me wrong. I had Chandler winning that fight. But that first round, Ferguson looked good.
That's where I was getting at. So do we say Tony's done? Because I don't think so.
No, I don't think you can, right? Like Cerrone's never going to be done. Ferguson's never going to be done because they have a draw, right? Like when you're talking about ticket sales and things like that, you put Ferguson on there against anybody in the top 10.
Right.
Ferguson's going to perform. He might lose all 7, all 10 fights, but he I don't know. I think that there's this thing that always happens, right? We always see these guys cycle out.
Yeah.
The legends like BJ Penn, the Diaz brothers, like they cycle out just because we need fresh blood. We need these things. You know what I mean? And I think that this is where the UFC's at now, is that they have to figure out. Okay, yes, we know that Tony can perform, but we also need to look at, is he taking up space?
Yep.
You know what I mean? And Chandler just looked amazing. Like that kick, it looked really good, man. And his body's crazy. Pause. Like that dude is in incredible shape, and I love the guy that he is. Just like you and Poirier, that's how I feel about Chandler. You know what I mean? But I feel like we're seeing these guys now where they're starting to filter out. We're gonna see some filtering out. Max Holloway don't have he has a few years left. I mean, it was Cerrone and Joe, like two vets.
Dana said whoever lost that fight had their walking papers signed, ready to go. That was it for them. So,
Which are we getting them tonight?
no, they go to the next pay per view.
Oh, June 11th.
The June 11th card.
Okay.
It got moved to that one. So,
But what's your thoughts on Ferguson? Was he out of here?
no, I don't think so. And I know he's lost quite a few in a row, but that first round he looked really good. I think that you got caught by a kick that nobody lands, right? And Michael Chandler even says, we don't even practice that.
Yeah,
I just threw it, and he just didn't see it coming. If it was the Anderson Silva, Vitor Belfort, Anderson Silva knew it was there, right? He set up for it. It was part of his repertoire, right? But Michael Chandler was like, I've never thrown that kick. Never.
Yeah.
It was a 1 in a million shot. And the way that thing, he looked like he got shot by a gun.
Dude, it was
Just
bad.
laid him out, dude.
Dude, his face
The
was in
pictures
his...
everybody shows? Oh, dude.
like crying.
Him and Frankie Edgar, they have the best ones. That Frankie Edgar one, oh, man.
Yeah.
I'm on the Do Bronx train.
Yeah.
He finally won me over because I thought Justin Gaethje would nullify him with his pressure wrestling, the leg kicks, and I'm bought in. I'm bought in now.
I've been bought in. I've respected that dude for a while now. I think it's weird, the whole weight cut thing, the missed weight. That was weird.
To me, it makes sense what Dana says, that guys go and fuck with the scale because you have European fighters that are on stones and you have pounds, right? So guys go in, they fuck with the scale, they reset it. So he was like, I made weight. Like, I know he has a history way back in the day of missing weight a few times, but since he's been on the championship run, it was a half a pound.
Yeah.
So I was a little bummed by that, but Charles Oliveira, Kamaru Usman.
Damn.
I was gonna say Islam, man. I like Islam next.
Well, Islam's gonna have to beat somebody in the top 5. I'm tired of hearing about the Islam. He needs a title shot. He beat Bobby Green.
Yeah.
I love Bobby Green, but he's not a top 10 fighter, right?
No.
He's got to beat Benel Dariush. He's got to beat him before you get a title shot. And I know we're listening to fucking Khabib running yada yada. This is the guy who deserves. Give him title shot. He deserves it. Well, you don't. But when you do beat a top 5 guy, then I'm okay with it. But if they just give him no.
So he's kind of in that sugar. Listen, that's what I'm talking about. The turn of the coin, right?
Right.
The guys like the Islams, the Sugars, right? Like these guys where they have a name. The guys like Cumshot.
Come shot.
What's his name?
Oz.
Cosmet.
Hamzat.
Hazmat. Yeah.
Chamia Hazmat.
Where he hasn't fought a top 10 guy. But these guys are having names as if they are in the top 10. You know what I mean?
Well, he just beat
Brazilian.
holy
Gilbert,
shit,
Gilbert
Burns. That's top 3 right there. That's number 2 actually.
Well, yeah, that would be the next one. Yeah.
Yeah. So
He got his ass
him and
whooped,
Colby,
too.
him and Colby on CBS.
Yeah,
They got to
man.
make that happen. They got to make that happen.
Yeah.
Him and Colby.
That'd be an incredible fight. That'd be fun. That'd be a fun
It
one
would
to
be
watch.
really good. Even the build up.
Yeah.
Would be fun. Like him or not, Colby can talk shit, right?
He can. I want to see. What happens. We haven't heard from him, right? We just seen the leaked photos about his teeth,
Yep.
but we haven't seen him.
That poor guy. Regardless of what you think about him, what he says is uncalled for. And what he said about Brazilians, I'm not cool with, right?
Yeah.
He catches a boomerang to the side of the head, right? Catches a fucking boomerang out of nowhere. Jorge Masvidal sucker punches him, knocks his fucking tooth in half. It cut his tooth in half.
Who says it's a sucker punch though? Did
Because he didn't see it coming. Here's my thing. You just fought 25 minutes.
Yeah.
And you didn't beat him, but it was okay for you to come from behind and hit him when he wasn't expecting
How do we
it.
know? How do we know he came from behind? Who says that? Of course, Covington's about, yo, he sucker punched me. Remember when Usman ran down on him? And he was carrying like a little bitch?
Still, but he wasn't. Have you seen the video?
With him and Usman?
No, of Colby and Masvidal.
No, I haven't. That's why I'm
he
asking.
didn't see him coming.
Okay, so there is a video where it shows him.
He was looking this way, and he came from behind and just wham.
Okay.
He didn't see it coming.
I'll have to see the video.
Yeah.
Well, you're gonna have to come back when Brian's here.
Brian?
Yeah, I'm never down with a sucker punch. And I
Have you ever been in a fight, Dre?
me?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
You
Yeah.
win?
I mean, there's really no winning. I mean,
He's like, well, the people I was where they won.
Have you?
Fuck, long time ago. Back home. Like, back home, like, I threw punches with one kid.
So I've been in a few, because I didn't do a lot of stand-up stuff when I was doing some jiu-jitsu. So I would only say that I've only been in a jiu-jitsu match. I've been sucker punched a couple of times because sometimes my mouth will write a check my ass can't cash. And when I was younger, it was way worse.
Oh,
Especially
damn.
if I got a little liquid courage in me,
Yeah.
I would talk shit pretty bad, and I deserved it.
He said, they're Mexicans.
No, I never said
Just
that.
kidding.
Do you remember Club Wet?
Oh, yeah.
When they had the banister that goes up?
what club was this?
So it was Vortex at one point.
Oh, yeah.
They had,
And then it
but
went
it's
to the
back when
bay?
they had
Yeah.
the pool.
Yeah.
But if they had the stairway that was a square stairway that you walked up.
Yep.
Yeah.
One time I was hanging out with some guys, and again, all of us way too drunk, and we started running our mouths like stupid white guys do all the time.
And mind you, he's not from Salt Lake. You're in
No,
Salt
I'm
Lake.
from Syracuse,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
And I remember clearly with a beer in my hand, turning around, laughing at somebody. And this guy walked up and grabbed my throat and took me to the banister and pushed me. Half of the banister was on my ass, and he was holding me over the banister to let go of my ass because a guy I went with was getting fresh on a dance floor with a girl who didn't like it. Her friend came over to pull her friend away, and he went wham and slapped this girl in the face.
Yeah.
That's the point that the cops showed up and saved my life and told us, you need to leave now. And I can't remember what gang they were supposedly affiliated with, but the cop says, you guys could have all been killed
Yeah, man.
the way
that's
these
bad
guys
news.
run around. So as far as like a fight, I've never been in a stand-up
Physical,
brawl.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, man.
but I've had my ass beat a few times.
I've been in a lot of fights, man. I've been in, a lot of it was I've never started shit. I've never, because I've been punched in the face when I was younger. You know what I mean? Like I've been in.
That's a soft touch he just gave me. That's what he did to me.
I think that once you get punched in the face as a kid on the playground in your
Yeah.
neighborhood and you tussle with guys from your neighborhood, you know how to act and you know what to say, what not to say, what's gonna. If I do this, okay, they have the right to do something to me now, right? So I've never been to that point, but I've definitely. There's a DJ who. There was one night I was at, and a lot of these fights happened in Circle Lounge. It was either Circle Lounge or Pierpont Avenue. There was a DJ. We got done with the night at Circle Lounge, and we're leaving. And this DJ, he got out the car for some reason, and he was like talking to somebody else, and then some dude was saying some fucked up shit to him, and got in his face and was like going to hit him, and this dude punched him in the face, turned this dude into a zombie. He literally was like, it was the funniest shit I've seen. And so I'm like he was driving the car, and so I hop out and I'm kind of just hanging on the side of the door because it's a one-on-one. Like I'm not gonna jump in, especially my guy got the best of this dude. He hit him, boom, and he like froze up like a zombie. And then,
fuck do you keep making that noise?
Hey, it was the funniest shit I seen. I was like, oh damn, this fool just zombied this fool. And so one of his homies came and tried to side blind my guy, and so I had to wrap him up, and we went to the floor. And the thing is that I knew this dude too, so I wasn't trying to hurt him, but I wasn't gonna let my friend get sucker punched. And so I choked him. I choked him out. I don't know shit about it. I don't know jiu-jitsu or anything.
Yeah.
So I'm holding this dude. I'm like choking him. I'm like, yo, it's your homie. Chill. But at the same time, it's like we're not that type of homie. Like, if it's either my brother or you, I'm going with my brother every time. Like, I don't give a fuck. So choked this dude out. There was another DJ that stood in the car, didn't do shit while we could have been killed during that time.
Fuck Brian.
And Brian. There was a night. I think Brian was at that one night at Sandbar. I think Brian got laid out that time.
This Brian?
Yeah.
No shit.
I think so, because it was two other DJs that were there that night, and I was down the street. That was on Pierpont, and I was down the street at another bar, and right as that shit happened, like we're running down there, and that's when shit went haywire. But now where I'm at in my life now, like you could say whatever.
Yeah. Just
don't put no hands on me. Don't put no hands on my wife or my kids or my family. Don't put us in danger.
Yeah.
If I feel like I'm in danger, I'm gonna defend myself. And I don't know what that looks like. It might look like me getting knocked out. It might look like me fucking killing somebody. I don't know. You never know what's the outcome of shit.
Yeah.
Until shit happens.
Yeah, I always have that little feeling when I go, oh, this is not gonna be. This is not okay. Like with someone like I've unfortunately for me, I have friends or I have hang out with friends that don't give a shit about bothering someone else. You know what I mean? And I go, oh man, what the fuck? I went out to a bar one time and this fella, Polynesian fella, he was trying to flirt with the girls behind him, and it was like, hey, what's up? What's going on? And he was kind of making some progress, but then this guy came up, and basically the way he was talking to them, he blocked my friend from talking to them. It was like the back of the guy, and he's like, what the fuck, man? And then he's looking at him, and he's like, he's fucking up my shit. Like he's saying it out loud, and that's like I instantly get that feeling of like,
ooh, this could go bad.
Yeah, I was like, don't do that. I'm with you, dude. Don't fucking do. And then also he moved the table so the table's backrest hit him in the back. So he just went like this, and like he just looks at me like, did he do anything? And I'm like, check please. I'm like, what the fuck would I want to do anything for these bitches that I don't even know?
That's why there's some friends and family that you'll never see at any of my gigs, because I know how they are. It could literally be one of you guys get busting my balls, and they're very defensive, right? And they'll make sure that like I'm not in danger or anything. Or even if it was opposite, if you guys came in and they're there and somebody across the bar looks at Angel crazy, they're gonna be like, man, fuck this dude, let's go fuck him up. You know what I mean? Because they don't have shit. Some of them don't have shit to live for except their pride. And I feel like whenever you have nothing to live for except your pride, that's when you get in trouble, man.
Yeah.
And you gotta really be able to compartmentalize that type of shit where it's like, all right, these are the friends that are making progress. These are people that, if you have friends that don't have shit to lose, put you in a place so you have a lot to lose. Yeah. It's just crazy, man.
What did you say you were doing? You said it last time you were here at the. You were running your mouth on the Halloween gig that you had at a party in Sioux. What were you saying to somebody? You're like, I don't know how I didn't get jumped.
Because
you were buzzed.
Yeah,
a lot buzzed.
Remember Shorty, she was dressed up and she would look good. Like her costume was dope. And she had a whack ass boyfriend and didn't dress up for shit.
Oh yeah, I heard about this. That's right.
And so I called him out. I'm like, yo, one of these dudes gonna take your girl. And like, I'm talking shit. Like, whenever I get on the mic, I talk shit. Not the best thing for me to do, but I also understand that, like, that's the thing I feel like we need to understand is that if you, kind of like what you said, whatever you say can and will be held against you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even down to like this shit. Like whatever I say here, somebody might, a corporate, whatever might hear it and be like, yeah, we don't want to mess with that guy.
Yeah.
It's a dude's a little too crazy.
And that's...
We know we're already way deep into that shit.
Yeah,
we have no future in this business.
Then why did you guys cut the intro?
What intro?
The chocolate starfish and come taste like horchata.
Our intro. Hey, by the way, I had nothing to do with that. It just
You
all of a sudden
motherfucker.
disappeared one
You're
day.
an asshole because everything I do in this goddamn podcast, I ask you about it.
Everything I do,
Hey, we did it last time you were here.
I do it for you.
Hey,
Cause there's no love.
Let me bring this up, though. Because when we first met Dre, I told Angel, I'm like, I don't know about this guy. I don't know about this
still
guy.
don't.
He's not very fucking friendly with me. And I think he thinks I'm a racist deep down, right?
yeah.
But as I get to know Dre, like, I appreciate the ball breaking we can have, right?
Yeah.
That's when you know you have friends, right?
This is probably, I will say, and I've said it before, this is probably the only podcast that shits on Dre all the time. Everybody, every studio, every house studio.
They have a Dre in the middle, right?
And they have a fucking Dre, and they light a candle to it every day, and they pray to him every fucking episode.
That's funny
And meanwhile, we're like, man, fuck Dre.
But that's just how much we love you, right?
Yeah.
Because we have that. To me, when you can break your boys' balls,
Yeah.
that's when you know, like,
That's when you're fam.
we're fam, right?
Yeah.
So,
Mind you, I'm sensitive as shit though, so it hurts me a little bit. I'm a Cancer. I'm a sensitive ass Cancer. Hurts my feelings.
I'm a Gemini, so I have a good side.
Let me get my Brendan Schaub on.
Ooh.
I'm big and I'm tough, but it hurts, man.
Have you been following him?
It hurts.
Yo, have you followed the drama?
Oh, with Tiger Belly?
Yes.
Yeah, dude.
Not. Let me take that back. Not Tiger Belly, but some weird shit's going on in that camp.
Yes.
Yeah, man. That's real shit, man. I feel like, and maybe you guys haven't felt it yet, but there are people that don't have your best interest, even if they are putting their hands around you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a real thing.
Is it me, or is there almost in the podcast world? And we know, like, when we talk about Schaub, it's like with Rogan, Two Bears, One Cave, like Tiger Belly, like Schultz,
Yeah.
like
They're all
there's that
buddies.
group, right?
They're all friends.
Is there any of those guys that catch more fucking shit than Schaub?
Rogan.
Probably Rogan.
Schultz, too.
Yeah, but we can honestly say that Rogan.
I don't know if Schultz would get
Rogan
at that point,
is. Is it because he catches shit because of his political views? Or is it because he catches shit just like Schaub does because people are just haters on him? Because Rogan is on the pedestal, right?
Yeah.
Podcast like Mount Rushmore, let's be honest, right?
Yeah.
MMA, Mount Rushmore, right?
Of course.
Comedy, Mount Rushmore. In the era that we're in. I'm not saying forever, but in the era that... How, really?
Have you seen him live?
I've never seen him live.
Okay.
But Mount Rushmore?
But in the era, I'm not
Because
saying
you-
of all
you
time.
have
I'm talking
era,
about,
though.
that's why I said the era that we're in.
This era,
right?
what do you consider this era?
What-
Because Dave Chappelle's still out there.
But
Chris
he's,
Rock's on
he's
tour.
up there,
he's
though.
in there. He's in there.
But that's
I'm
what
not. But I'm not saying.
Would you say Rogan is
But-
on that Chappelle level or on a rock
but
level?
This is what I'm saying. If we're talking about top 10 comics of our era right now, Dave Chappelle, Bill Burr, Joe Rogan, they're in there. Now, if we're talking about forever, we got Sam Kinison, fucking
Bernie Mac.
Bernie Mac, yeah, absolutely. Well,
you got to put Seinfeld there. I personally, he's not a favorite of mine, but I feel like what he's done, his accomplishments, his style of comedy, there's really nobody like a Seinfeld.
True.
right.
What about the guys that do the thing?
What's the deal with all these Yankee hats?
Yeah.
But I get you. But I was just saying the progression of comedy, right?
Yeah.
He's right there, right? But you got a guy like Schaub, and is it because he was a Rogan boy? Like he was one of his dudes, and Rogan kind of helped him out. He wasn't a heavyweight champion, right? He was right. The dude knocked out fucking Mirko Krokop, for God's sakes, right?
Yeah.
Was he ever champ?
He's no.
Okay.
He built a podcast. He's got his own production. I mean, he's one of the hardest working
built a
guys in
network.
podcast.
By the way,
world
one
right
of the
now.
funnest thing is like I did you hear him on Rogan?
Yeah.
So he's talking about his and it's funny and he gives you a perspective of how busy Rogan is because they're talking about you know what I got Thick Boy Studios and everything and Rogan's like, what's Thick Boy Studios? I'm like, it's my network. And he goes, you have a network now? I'm like, God damn.
Rogan's walking around with fucking security and shit
Yeah.
right now.
As he should.
Yeah.
He should. I love Schaub. I love everything that I love creators that get away from being locked down.
Yeah.
Right?
Corporations and
Like that's why I've fucked with heavy with Schultz and Charlemagne for so many years because they did it. Like they did it. You know what I mean? They built that network. They built a team. They went and got somebody. That's why I'm like, yo, if you have a really solid group of people of 50, it's gonna trump any 10,000. If you guys were to get 10,000 views on one video, it's not going to be as valuable as having 10 to 50 people that will show up no matter what you guys do. You know what I mean? That's dedication. That's love. You know what I mean? And I think the thing with Schaub, I think the reason why Schaub gets so much hate and dislike is because Schaub is known from a lot of different areas, right?
yeah.
Somebody that is really into MMA will be like, oh, here's another MMA guy starting a podcast, right?
Yeah.
Or here's another sports guy trying to come into this comedy space, right? And I think a lot of it comes from the hate and the dislike comes from Schaub doing it at a rapid rate.
Yeah.
And people feeling like their local comedian deserves it more than Schaub just because their local comedian has been doing it for 30 years and hasn't moved up anywhere in the world. There's a Jay-Z lyric, and I know you're a Jay-Z fan. There's a Jay-Z lyric where he says on the Blueprint album, he says, "What you eat doesn't make me shit."
Greatest album of 2021.
2001. September 11, 2001, Blueprint. But when Jay-Z said, "What you eat doesn't make me shit," you gotta really take a step back and be like, another man's success doesn't take away from yours. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What somebody else does doesn't take away from you. Schaub is gonna be a phenomenal. He deals with his own demons.
Yeah.
He has his own insecurities. We all do, right? And what he's doing and what anybody's doing, they're gonna do it at their rate, on their pace. Some people might be a little bit more elevated because they have a better network. Use it as fuel. The blueprint's out there. Everything that we want to do, the blueprint is out there.
Dozens, thousands of people have already done it.
Somebody will be like, okay, let me break it down really to our level. Somebody, if Justin was to start doing backstage interviews for a Fierce Fighting Championship with Damage Plan MMA podcast, #1 MMA podcast in Utah, if Justin was to do that, there's going to be some local MMA person that's went to every local promotion that has their own podcast be like, what the fuck? Why does this guy get to do it?
Yeah.
And it's because Justin has a relationship with those guys.
Yeah.
Justin built a network. Justin he might not have been doing it as long as somebody, but he is in the right place at the right time. It's the same thing with Schaub. Schaub has friends that can put him on tour.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with Chappelle Lacey. Look at Chappelle Lacey. Some people be like, why is he already going on a Europe tour? Like, this dude just started comedy. And this dude's from Arizona. I'm from Hollywood. I should be there. You know what I mean? what somebody else eats doesn't make you shit. Stop looking at what somebody else is doing unless you are looking at their blueprint and create your own opportunities.
That's where I'm at. I tell them all the time. It's like, for me, Schaub and Joe Senegato, they're like my shining stars, man. They're like hashtag goals for me.
If you really break it down, like, how many podcasts have come out after The Fighter and the Kid with that blueprint? An MMA fighter and a comedian.
Yeah.
There's been dozens of them.
Yeah.
Big dollar guys too, right? Well, they were the first. And it just boggles me that people hate on him so hard. And maybe his comedy's not yet. Maybe it's not, that's not what you're into, right? But the guy hustles. He's every time you see him, he's always posting. He's always doing something to grow, right? So it just boggles my mind that he gets so much hate.
Yeah, he's at a point now where he's doing everything himself.
And that's how it should be.
Yeah.
There's a reason the guy can get whoever he wants on his food truck diaries because he gets fucking views. And there might be 20 guys that are loud online, right? For the guys that like us that listen all the time, I'm not going to fucking comment on that shit. I'm just going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Well, I also think we also need to change perspective, right? We might say, why does he get so much hate? I would say they get so much love.
True. Yeah,
through a lot of transitions.
You're right.
Right? There is an army. There's an army of people that will go out and see these guys and perform and share their shit and, you know, and just be a part of this group, right? Yeah. And I feel like when you're a part of an army, and you have the people in your corner, that outweighs any hate that you might get.
True.
You know what I mean? Like when Callan went through the shit that he went through, a lot of people stuck with, you know, by that. You know what I mean? When Rogan went through it, it's because these people know the person.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's why R. Kelly still has an army of people that still fucking people standing out fucking outside the jail.
You're right.
Let him go.
You're right.
Even though we know this motherfucker's a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
Where there's thousands and thousands of hours of recording where you get to know an individual like Rogan, like Callan, right?
Yeah.
And then that little bit of bad shit comes out, and then the loud fuckers online, the social media world speak up, and it's like, well, maybe it's not as bad. Maybe he doesn't have that much hate, but they're just so fucking loud.
Yeah.
Man, you really get to know somebody when you listen to them for hundreds of hours of podcast or whatever it is, right?
Yo, speaking of making it happen and going through changes and shit, how do you like the mornings over the nights?
Yeah.
Afternoons.
Congratulations, mister.
Thank you. It's so new. It's such a different transition with radio. You kind of just go where they want you, right? Like I'm such a team player where I don't care. You could throw me nights, mornings, middays.
But you two cover
mornings from E-Rock.
Yep. Okay, but I thought he was so what time you from 6 to?
So originally when I first came on, I was 3 to 7.
Yeah.
Mid or afternoons. And then we went through a change, and then I went to 7 to midnight, and then that lasted a month and a half, and then E-Rock left, and shout out to E-Rock, one of my really good friends. I love that guy. He left the station, and then they were like, "Yo, Dre, we want you in the mornings." So then I went to mornings, which has only been 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that. Yeah. So I'm still trying to figure out. I'm figuring out my morning show. I'm figuring that whole thing out. We have one of the biggest concerts of the year coming up, so there's a lot of moving pieces within the radio station. And honestly, I'm just honored to still be able to do what I do. You know what I mean?
Is it different responsibilities that come with every shift?
Yeah, I mean, morning show is a lot different than night show. Right. There is different responsibilities, but at the same time, it's not too different because I'm still myself. I'm still interviewing and doing the things. I'm putting people in position and stuff like that. I'm trying to squeeze this lemon as much as I can. So when I see people doing dope shit, I try to think about, okay, how can I implement them into my show? How can I give them a look? You know what I mean? Because having a morning show or having any show on the radio, it's not about me. It's about what I can do for our community. Am I maximizing that space? Not for myself, but for others. You know what I mean? And so I'm liking it. It's cool. We'll see. I mean, with so many different changes, we'll see where that, you know, where that happens and what happens next with that.
Look at you, man.
What?
Proud of you.
We
Thanks.
can't help but to feel
We're
like
fucking proud of
we
you.
were there when he was nobody. Not really.
I've always been somebody.
No, I know that.
Since the day I was born, we all were, man. I think that the cool thing about where we are in 2022, and I've said this for fucking whatever years, is that like if you think it, you can do it.
Yeah.
Whatever that is. Literally, whatever that is in your mind, in your head that you want to do, you can do it.
I can be in the NBA.
You can.
Well,
Maybe you could do a corresponding segment.
no, I want to be a center in the NBA. But you just told me I
Yo,
can
your
think
vision
it.
came up a little late though.
About 20 years back, bud.
Hey, yeah, if you were in high school and you were like, yo, I want to go to the NBA, I'm sure if you would have applied yourself in that and only went that way, I'm sure you could have got something.
I'm just making a smart ass
Yeah.
remark, but you're right.
Yeah.
The avenues that are open today to make yourself fulfill your dreams, it's all there. Right?
I mean, look at how there's I was on TikTok and there's this dude that does this really cool thing. He's like, it's almost like the 6 degree effect. Have you guys heard about
Yeah.
that? Six degrees of separation. This dude, people will randomly put like a celebrity's name. They'll be like Donald Trump, and he'll be like, okay, so my mom went to school with the guy that coached Donald Trump Jr., whose dad is Donald Trump. So it's like 6 degrees of separation because this guy is tied to Donald Trump in this weird way. Same thing with you guys. Your favorite podcast is what? Fighter and the Kid.
One of them.
one of them.
Right?
Probably our most influence.
Yes, absolutely. You're right.
I mean, you
biggest.
just argued.
Yeah,
I
you're
mean,
right. No, you're right.
Let's go Rogan. We can go Rogan.
Tit for tat. Either way, right?
Justin met Chappelle Lacey, who is homies with
Schaub.
Brian Schaub, who is best friends or good friends with Rogan.
Yeah.
Right? It's crazy 6 degrees of separation. So it's not far-fetched to think that one day you guys will meet Rogan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like with me with Michael Jordan, my favorite NBA player of all time.
Well, the GOAT.
Right? My brother, I call him, he's the one that introduced me to this whole entertainment shit. Pierre Jones, Omega Sci-Fi, fraternity brothers with Michael Jordan. So my degrees of separation to Michael Jordan is literally one person, and got to meet him when he came to Green Street when the Jordan team was here in Utah, right? Like, it's anything that we want to do, anybody that we want to meet, if you can think it, you can literally do it. It will happen.
It's just getting uncomfortable and getting into that spot.
Keeping good relations, right? Yeah. Making people feel comfortable. Just being a good human, right? You do the right thing.
Yeah, I agree.
Do what you said. Just be a good human. I mean, I watched Schaub's
Comedy special?
No. Well, I watched that, but I watched his vlog that he just dropped, where he was going through his New York tour and whatnot. And he always talked about
Gary
those.
V and everything,
He talked about those guys, the podcast dudes. Do you suck or are you trash or whatever?
Are you trash?
Are you trash podcast? And I instantly thought about you guys, where it was like,
I did too.
Here are these guys where they're getting some buzz, they're doing this thing,
And he says that's how they started.
and he's been talking about it for every episode he's on. He talks about these guys, right? Now, what if that happened here? You know what I mean? Why couldn't it happen here? Where they didn't have no big production. It looked like they were in a studio just like this. They were themselves, and he took the time to. People will take the time to give you time when the time is right, when those stars align.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So literally, when I say if you think it, if you want to do it, it can happen. Just continue to be a good human, right? Yeah. Be truthful to who you are and keep putting good energy out. Everybody in the city gets their time. Everybody gets their time. Not everything lasts forever, right? So like, there's the things that can last forever are the things that you put the energy in, the things that you can control, right? Outside of that, everything else is bullshit, right? But I look forward to like people just conquering those things that they want to conquer. You know what I mean? It's a crazy thing to think about, man. Just keep dreaming high.
Fuck, every time I talk to Dre, I'm like, fuck,
We get inspired.
Let's do this
Right?
shit, dude.
Right?
It's not hard, bro. Like, look at all you guys have. Like, you guys have a lot of shit. You can do whatever the fuck
And
you want.
You know, it's funny you bring that up because, like, I feel like I wouldn't say the longest time, but I think after a few years of him and I going back and forth, I think you and I are like in the same page of what's next for us to do. We're in the waiting trial of we gotta wait for this to be available. We gotta wait for that to happen. But I think you and I are basically like, we know what's next, which is.
Do you have to though?
Yeah.
Do you have to wait? If you guys are ready, why do you have to wait?
You're right. No, you're right. You're right.
You know what I mean? Like there's things, and I've told you guys this forever.
I think for me, you know what I think for me it is, and I think you mentioned it one time too. I think it's because for me, the way I think, we have gotten this show to like a certain level of quote unquote professionalism that I don't want to go back and just go, I can do my next show from my kitchen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, at this point, I'm at a level, like, I'm at a studio. I got decent equipment that I can make something bigger happen that I just don't want to go.
It's not worth the
I'm just going
backstop.
to, so I'm not going to go to, like, a corner of my Beehive studio to do my other show.
That's why I've said, we talked earlier, you got to be 100% invested in what you do.
Yeah.
And for me to say, well, yeah, I'll just sit at my desk at my home, like, that's not good enough for me. I got to have a badass background.
Yeah.
I got to have video. I got to have audio. Like, I've learned that this is what it takes to take yourself to the next level. So
That's not hard to do, though. You already have everything.
It's not. It's not, right? But in this, for instance, we're talking about going back, doing your homework, making sure you're prepared 100%. It's not like I sit down here and I shoot the shit with Angel and we know it's gold because we're good at this.
Depends on what it is, right? What's your show?
We know about doing an MMA podcast.
You know MMA.
I know that, but that's what I'm saying.
What do you got to prep for?
But that's what I'm saying. I don't know it. To break down a whole card, it's easy to do the UFC, right? Anybody can do that. If you pay attention to the sport, you're a fan of the sport, you can do that. There's a niche here to the local MMA scene that I want to get into. And I'm slowly growing the local MMA knowledge that I have, but I don't think I'm good enough to put it out to everybody to say, hey, my opinion matters, right? Because I don't want to bullshit anybody.
None of our opinions matter.
You know what I think?
It matters to the people that want it to matter.
But I want to be truthful, and I want to know what I say is true to those. My opinion matters because I'm not dumb, because I've done the homework.
Well, I think if you're going specific to that niche of local MMA, I think the only thing for me is, does this guy actually go to the fights? Is he going to every local fight?
I'm 50%. I make it as much as I can, right? And that's where I say I can't jump into it both feet right now. I just don't have the time.
I think we should leave it to our audience and you guys get a hold of Damage Plan podcast and just say, we want Justin to be in the first show.
I've said this. Those guys hit me up all the time and just like, whatever you need. Like, they've been, other than the small niche I have, those guys have been like, whatever you need, we're here to help. They had me come on and do their podcast with them. I'm like, not everybody gets to do that, right?
Nah.
So I know that they have faith in me.
What's next for Drizzy? Can you tell? Or we know you keep your moves hidden and shit, but
I don't keep my moves hidden. My moves are very much out there. Because I like I said, man, blueprints. Everybody.
No, but that's things that you do that you keep it away.
What's new?
And I know,
What's new?
You're into real estate. You're also feeding another family.
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy? I actually got approached about real estate. Shout out to Gurr Real Estate, Tyler Gurr. Man, I love those guys. They are amazing. They literally take out the bullshit. They take out the bullshit in this whole real estate thing. They help you out from ground zero. They help you along the way. They do so much, man. Salute
Did they recommend these jorts?
You don't like these? These are my Levi's, bro.
Yo, I'm a little buzzed. It is fucking almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
I'm worried about driving home.
So am I. At this
That's
point,
why I said that. But shout out to Guru Real Estate.
But shout out to
Gur.
Forever 21.
Gur.
Haters. Shut up.
We're so drunk, we didn't even hear him fist. We just went like this. Anyway.
This is why he got choked and almost thrown off the fucking banister.
Here, let me sign it before I rip it out.
But yeah, man, they asked me if I wanted if I was interested in real estate.
Like getting your real estate license?
So I was thinking about it because he was like, man, you talk well.
Yeah,
like,
the gift of gab.
yeah,
Let's be
like
honest.
he was like, yo, like you don't bullshit anybody. Like you motivate people and things like that. Plus, you're going through it yourself. Like,
Can you imagine Dre at the end of his videos? Have the house you deserve.
yeah,
Protect your light bill.
I got a 3-bedroom house right now. License number 04. Nah. What's next for me, man, is more consistency, man. Being consistent. Obviously, I want different looks, right? So, building more sets and creating. I'm taking on more clients, right? So taking on more clients, helping them get started. I just helped Soul Sisters podcast. They haven't even recorded yet.
Soul sister.
Yeah, I don't know that song.
What?
Yeah, hold on.
Lady Marmalade?
Oh yeah,
Marmalade?
Christina Aguilera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Maya.
Missy Elliott.
Missy Elliott.
And Maya.
Lil Kim.
Eve.
And yeah.
Nope. No Eve.
Eve's in there.
Nope. It's not.
Are you sure?
Pink, Maya, Christina Aguilera,
Lil Kim?
Missy Elliott, and
Lil' Kim.
Eve
Eve's not in there.
Nope.
I swear Eve was in there.
Yo, by the way, I just looked this up yesterday. Did you know that Gwen Stefani is 52 years old?
And she looks unbelievable.
And she looks mid-30s.
Unbelievable. So I saw Bush and
her man is 45.
and no doubt in 1990.
Is that because they were banging?
So this is the tour because they toured together when they met and started banging each other before they got married.
Oh.
And I mean, she doesn't look a day older than the day I saw her back in 1996.
Remember her abs, dude? She was all about showing her abs.
She is sexy.
The high boxers. I think the dope thing about No Doubt is that they went through a different phase, right? Like when Gwen left the band, she went through her Harajuku girl. She went through her reggae, right? And there was a different phase for each moment in her life, and I thought that was really dope. Because you look at No Doubt, what would you say No Doubt was?
They were a California ska punk band.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And then we seen this transition where it was like, yo, like now we're getting a reggae feel, and now we're getting this Japanese feel, and she wasn't scared to do any of that and go along with the look too.
Yeah.
And then we seen this. Now she's with the country dude. Now she, you know what I mean? She's
What's
doing her
his
thing.
name?
Blake Shelton.
Blake Shelton.
I love Blake Shelton.
Do you really?
Yeah.
You fucks with country?
Yeah, my girl's a country girl.
Your girl is a German woman.
Yeah.
I highly doubt she fucks with country.
No, she 100%.
Really?
Yeah, she's from Ogden, country girl. Like yeah.
She just
horses and
she just
shit.
became my Facebook friend. I'm like, I hope Dre knows about this. According to Dre, I'm a dirtbag.
I mean, you are.
This motherfucker.
If I outlive you, I'm doing the eulogy. I'm warning y'all.
Feed after what we just Oh, dude. Should we tell him after?
What's up?
I said after. Dude.
Oh, okay. Not on the pod?
Fuck no. You kidding me? It's gonna get me killed.
Damn.
I know, that's right, dude. But
What's up, man? Should we get out of here?
I think we should because we got more spicy shit to talk about. I'm just kidding. Dre.
Is that a flip on a? I thought it was a flip phone. It's a remote for the fan.
Yeah,
It looked like a flip phone for a minute.
Dre, tell people where they can find you while Justin and I go have a smoke break.
ALLRAWK.com, allrock.com. Check it out. YouTube.com/allrock. I just appreciate anybody taking the time to listen to my podcast, watch the content that I do. It's about community. It's about putting out things that takes people's mind off of this bullshit world that we live in. And
you just celebrated how many views?
So, you're talking about the impressions?
Yeah.
So I was just randomly looking at my impressions on YouTube, and for the month of April, what are we in, May? April, I had 21,600 different impressions. Now, that's not total views, that's impressions. That's people that see my shit.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're watching, let's say the other side of the Beehive, right? And you finish the video and then all the other videos pop up, those are called impressions. That means that somebody's seeing your shit. And it was over 21,000. And for the year, this last calendar year, it was like 200,000.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, man. It's a crazy. I never look at stats, but I was just randomly looking at it. So the last 365 days, Justin, tell me how many impressions I had.
250,000.
God damn.
53.
It's crazy, man. So that's more.
We're coming up on 45,000 views, downloads.
Boom. And you gotta know. So that's where I would challenge you guys, right? Is that like, okay, I've always told you guys this, man, is you guys, the audio's great, right? Get the YouTube popping. You're doing the little clips. More. Get more active on social media. I know it's hard, but I'm telling you guys. Pause. It's gonna help you guys in the long run in a major way. Plus, you have everything to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, Drerawka, DRERAWK on Instagram. Check my my shit out and share my shit. I put that on Twitter. I was like, yo, share anything I end with. Share my shit.
That's right. You can catch me and Angel Severa on Facebook, Angel Severa on Instagram, and I want to give a special shout out to somebody who that I don't know and wrote a message to the page.
Oh yeah.
To
Van Zandt? Got Pete.
He just said where we can find him. He's like, peace. He's like, peace. So a special shout out to a person who got a hold of me, sent us a message about me being open about how I'm dealing with things. And shout out to you. I appreciate it. I have no idea who she is, but she says she's been a fan since day one, which I really appreciate.
You don't remember her name?
I kind of don't. No, I just don't want to. Kind of sounds like the company we work for, so I don't want to.
No, I get it. We all know her name.
But the message is there, so I really appreciate it. It means the world to me. And Angel Severa on Facebook, Angel Severa on Instagram, and
J_Sim68. Make sure you go and share.
Yeah, share our
the
shit.
other side of the Beehive, if you would. We love it. We see it when you guys do it. It means a lot to us. And thank you. We do this for you guys.
We kind of can't leave till he gets back, though.
Yes, we can. Fuck him.
Okay. Well, there you go. Until next time, take care of yourselves out there. Follow his shit and ours, too. And we'll see you on the other side of the Beehive.
With fuck Dre, is that what we're going to do?
Hashtag. Hey, bring Justin to the MMA local fights. Hell yeah. Hashtag. Talk to Damage Plan Podcast. Peace.